The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me down the road. It's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. Down this road that never seems to end. When new adventure lies just around the bend. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's hobo style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, the whole world is my home. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's hobo style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. There's a world that's waiting to unfold. A brand new tale no one has ever told. We've journeyed far, but you know it won't be long. We're almost there and we paid our fare with a hobo song. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's hobo style. Maybe tomorrow I'll find what I call home. Until
here we go. It's Monday. Sexy Monday. And Jum Chowdhury, and Jum Chowdhury, and Jum Chowdhury, and Jum Chowd. Tommy Robinson, Tommy Robinson, Tommy Robinson, and Jum Chowdhury Robinson. Got some headphones, there we go. So that's my little filler while we wait for some headphones that come in. 0344 499. Wait, whoa, what the hey? A little bit psychedelic there. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, you'd be very, very welcome to. Late Night Alternative, I'm Iain Lee. Who you?
Catherine Boyle.
Mondays to Fridays on Talk Radio. Tell your friends. DAB, apps, radio apps, and online at talkradio.co.uk. And we have doubled our online listening figures over the last 12 months. So thank you, ladles and jelly spoons. Thank you, boys and girls. It's great to know. You can call in about anything. We're going to sit here and talk about some stuff, some heavy stuff, some light stuff, some silly stuff. And you're welcome to call in about anything you want. But I want to start the show. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. I want to start the show with something that I think might be considered controversial, but I don't think it is controversial.
Go on.
Okay, you're going to give me a look when I do it. You're going to give me the look that says, oh, Jesus. Okay, so here's the... oh, by the way, I was in bed with... My boys stayed the weekend. Bed with my 8 and my 6-year-old. And my 8-year-old on Sunday morning said, I think I know some swear words. I said, oh, okay. This isn't the controversial bit. I said, okay. I said, well, tell them to me. He said, no. I said, look, I promise you, I won't be in trouble. I would like to know what they are. And I can help explain to you if they are swear words or if they're not. Or kind of, I can explain to you a little bit. And I swear you will not be in trouble. So he says crap. And he says F, the F word.
Oh.
the F word. My little 8-year-old is 9 in January, but my baby boy, in front of my 6-year-old, and I grabbed her and went, "You little bastard!" No, I didn't. He said crap, and he said F. And I had to sit there. First of all, but here's the thing, right? I was split in two. That caller's disappeared. Where are they gone? First of all, I wanted to laugh, and then I wanted to cry.
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
know.
okay, well, we've crossed this line. And I said, okay. I said, right. If I said crap on the radio, I could do that. I'd be all right. It's a swear word, but it's quite a low-level one. What is it out of 10? I said it's probably a 4 out of 10.
I mean, you're playing that up a little bit, but quite
I said it's a
rightly
4
so.
out of 10.
For an 8-year-old, yeah.
I said the F word. If I said that, I'd get sacked. Couldn't say that, I would get sacked. Wow. So what's interesting is they're realising that these words have got power. And he said, "What is it out of 10?" I said F. That's a 7 or 8. He said, "Whoa. There's a 9 and a 10."
Oh, yes.
And I went, "We'll get to that when we come." So where'd you get them from? And he got them from his friend, right? Of course. And the thing is, his friend, he said, but the friend said he got crap from you, Daddy. What? He said, because, and I think I vaguely remember it, we were getting crepes, and someone called it craps. And I said, that's a swear word. So he got that. They got that. All right, fine. And the F word. And I said, listen, my boy was so embarrassed, and so, but found it funny. And I said, listen, it's cool. Here's the thing. To me, they're just words, okay? And some words seem to have more power than others. I don't quite understand it. And I don't really want to hear these words coming out of your mouth in conversation, but I'm glad you're telling me, and we can have this conversation. We can chat to each other, but you certainly must never say these words to your grandmother, because that would break her heart. That would probably kill, literally would kill Christina, their Greek grandmother, if he comes in and goes, "F this crap." And I said,
Don't say it at school.
I said, don't say it at school. I said, look, you say it to your friends. I kind of feel like I want to tell you I don't approve, but I say these words. Was I your age when I learnt these words? I don't remember. Probably. I said, look, you just got to be careful with them, man. They're powerful things, and they can really hurt people. But you get any more words that you're unsure about, come and run them past me, and I will let you know, and what you can do with them. It was an incredible moment, but of course, he said it once, and I got my phone out. I went, "Say it again," and recorded it. I played the tape, Sam. I sent it to you.
Yes.
That was a shock, wasn't it?
There's something quite obscene about hearing it from the mouth of a child, isn't there? But also kind of hilarious.
Yeah, and it's funny,
especially when it's not your kid.
It's the innocence has gone.
But
to see someone, finally, to see one of the people you love the most in the world, who you've, as I was telling them, they were in hysterics, of saying, when you were babies, I used to kiss your bums. You, as baby, like proper newborn babies, you guys had the cutest bums ever. I used to kiss your bums. They were in hysterics. But from someone whose bum you have kissed from a baby, from someone who is so pure and so innocent, to have the F come out, it's like there's a glitch in the system. Go on, what were you going to say? Sorry.
No, I remember the moment that my eldest came home, having been taught those words, and we had a similar conversation. And then yesterday, of course, now my youngest knows them too. I wonder how that happened. They always, from being really tiny, I don't really buy women's magazines very often, but sometimes I'll have them, like very, very rarely, usually when I'm looking for a new haircut. Because I'm old-fashioned like that. You can obviously, I should be looking on Google Images, but anyway, I was always a magazines girl. So I'll have them around the house, and they're really old, and I'm not bothered about them anymore. And the girls, from being really tiny, have really enjoyed going through my magazines and like colouring in the lipstick or giving them glasses.
Yeah.
That's been their idea.
Colouring
of
in a tooth, is that still a thing?
Oh, yeah,
out a
so
tooth?
much.
Great. That's a great thing to do.
Just colouring them in. They've got colouring books, but for some reason they prefer my magazines, right?
Yeah.
So they were doing that today, and then there was a bit of a kerfuffle from the dining room table at one point. I said, "What's going on over there?" And they went, "We found a swear."
Uh-oh.
This is the thing, right? Now they can read the magazines, and now I'm thinking maybe I don't want my eldest, going there anymore. And it was Florence Welch that they'd been colouring in, and they'd done her a lovely black lipstick job. It was fantastic. But underneath there was a quote saying, if this happened, I'd be effed. I said, they said it's the worst swear. I said, oh dear. And then my youngest said, but don't worry, I've sorted it out. And I looked and she'd scribbled it out.
Okay, well done.
So they know it's powerful.
Yeah.
They read it. I kind of enjoyed finding it. But then they realised it's verboten.
I made the mistake, I think it was you or maybe my sister I was on the phone to going, later on I'm going to teach him the C word. And you could see my eldest kind of prick up.
There's a C word?
This mystical C word of which you speak. What does it mean?
Gosh.
0344 499 1000 is the phone number. Let's go to... no, it's not, but thanks for trying. What a surprise. Can I just say, guys, if you're going to swear, it doesn't get broadcast. No one hears it apart from me and Kath and Sam. And Sam, as we know, is an innocent, so he will have to now go and cleanse his ear out.
He's going to tell his mum.
With spittle and a cotton bud. But if you phone up... That guy just phoned up to swear. The thing is... You knew instantly he was going to do something,
yeah,
didn't you?
Travis.
Yeah.
And the voice.
I knew instantly he was going to do something. We got a button here. We dumped it, didn't we, Sam? Yeah, we got a button here. So, listen, here's the thing. We love the prank calls. We love it. Absolutely love it. But don't swear. Don't be libelous because we've got a dump button. And what that means is I hit it and whatever you say doesn't get broadcast and no one hears it. So, Travis, you had the opportunity there to do a great prank and you shot your load too quickly. Just as imagine you do when you're pleasuring yourself. We'll have a quick break, then we'll come back. 0344 499 1000 is the phone number. I do feel perhaps I need to make it... Listen, you can call in about anything, right? And you can... It can be stuff that we're talking about already, or it can be stuff that you're thinking of that you want to talk about, or it can be, kind of... You can follow tangents from what we're talking about. So maybe I should make it a little bit clearer that you are now very welcome. One of the things you could call in about is phone up and talk about kids swearing. Don't use the swear words, obviously, but you're welcome. Maybe we need to make it a little bit more obvious to people, that they're waiting for the question and we don't do the question.
Yeah, because after all, we've doubled the audience, so there's loads of newbies there that don't know what the
So I'm not
crack
going to ask a question about your kids swearing or kids... I'm not going to ask you a question about that, but if you've got something you want to say... Well, let me throw a few out there. When did your kids start swearing? How did it make you feel as a person? Does it bother you? Those are the kind of things. You've got stories like that to tell, then you can give us a call about that. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. This is the Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee and Katherine Boyle on Talk Radio.
Late night conversation worth losing sleep over. The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000 is the phone number. Don't swear, don't be libelous, because we operate on a delay. Even my kids get the delay system. My kids understand it. So I know it's half term, and we welcome you. Is it a full moon tonight? It was bloody close.
Yes, I did notice that.
It was bloody close to a full moon tonight. Very close. I'm driving in thinking it's a low, round moon. I don't know if
it's a big one.
I don't know if it's completely full. Did you like the way my boy said milk as well?
Yes, and how did you just say full?
Full.
Full.
Full. F-U-L-L. Full.
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 I'm full of milk.
Full of milk.
So we could get, and it's half term and it's a full moon, so we could get some right old dingbats phoning up. Let's see. Good evening, Nick.
Hello.
Hello, Nick.
Hello, Ian.
Hello, Nick.
How you doing, all right?
I'm all right, Saint Nick. Turn your radio off.
Yeah. I'll turn it down. I'll turn it right down.
So you turn it off?
That's it. Hello? Hello?
Hello, Nick. He's gone. Do you want to get Nick back?
About that full moon.
Can I... 0344 499 1000. Here's the thing. Here's the controversial thing I want to say. I think I'm the only person saying this. You know Jamal Khashoggi?
Yeah.
Probably brutally murdered within the Saudi Arabian embassy in Turkey.
Was it 18 man against one fist fight?
Yeah. Possibly had his fingers chopped off while he was alive. Okay, here's the thing. Can I say it? I don't care. Now, I don't care. I don't care. It's horrific, right? And I don't care. And I'll tell you why. Because I don't know much about Saudi Arabia, okay? But I heard something the other day, and I kind of Googled it tonight, and it turns out that Saudi Arabia is spearheading one of the most aggressive bombing campaigns that have been around for a long time in the Yemen, right? And this just the first story I pulled up. This is from a Canadian newspaper. Since 2015, the Saudis have led a coalition of mostly Arab states intervening in Yemen's civil war, backing the ousted government against Houthi rebels, a Shia group with support from Iran. Both sides have committed war crimes, including atrocities against civilians. But Saudi conduct in Yemen has been particularly egregious. Coalition aircraft have repeatedly bombed hospitals and ambulances in the country. This is led by the Saudis. They've also bombed refugee camps. So the coalition led by the Saudis are bombing deliberately hospitals, ambulances and refugee camps, which are swollen with civilians trapped in a war that's displaced more than 2 million people. All told, now when did this story come out? This came out a few days ago. So, all told, more than 16,000 Yemeni civilians have been killed or wounded since March 2015, mostly by coalition airstrikes, according to the UN. That is all without mentioning the millions at risk of famine. It's huge famine, no food. And hundreds of thousands infected with cholera, conditions the Saudis have worsened with blockades and bombing sorties against civilian infrastructure. And then this is a Canadian thing, and it says Canada is complicit in this because they've sold, the government and private firms have sold millions of dollars worth of weapons, which we have.
To the Saudis, yeah,
to the Saudis, which is we have.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is why nobody... we get heavy for a bit, then we'll get light. Which is why nobody from the British government is going, well, we're not going to sell weapons to them anymore, because we get like billions. It's like the biggest thing we sell is weapons to the Saudis. So no one in the government has got the guts to go, well, OK, well, we're going to stop. We're going to put a ban on selling weapons to the Saudis.
Even though there is more than a strong hint that the Saudis are supplying weapons to people who are using them against us.
So here's the thing, right? So 16,000 civilians have died, massively caused by... Forget the weapons sales for a bit, because we're complicit. Canada's complicit. Loads of countries, but 16,000 civilians have died in a campaign spearheaded by the Saudis. There are millions at risk of starving if they're not starving already. There's cholera epidemics, and the Saudis are bombing hospitals and ambulances and refugee camps. And everyone's really upset about one guy that was murdered. Now, listen, I'm not in any way detracting from the fact that this guy was murdered, and it's horrific. And do you know what? His murder means that suddenly I've gone off and done a little bit of research, and I'm a little bit more aware of the Yemen situation. But people aren't going to Saudi Arabia for this market thing, this big international global conference. They're not going because this one guy was killed. This one guy was killed. And it's horrific, and it probably comes from the Prince. You remember the Prince was over here like 6 months ago? And all through London on the way in, you'd see big posters of the Prince. The Prince was everywhere. This guy's a dick, right? He's a murdering dick. Oh, I didn't know anything about... Shut up, man. Of course you did. You ordered it, you absolute bell. But I don't really care about this one guy when... To say I don't care is perhaps slightly harsh, but I am significantly more moved by the kids that have been killed, just who are caught up in a civil war. You know, it could be argued, I wouldn't necessarily argue this, it could be argued this guy, you know, was an antagonist of the Saudi regime, and he was writing about how dodgy they were, so he must have known there was a possibility that this could have happened, and then he goes in, not justifying it in any way whatsoever. Of course it shouldn't happen, of course it's a murder, of course it's horrific. If it was as horrendous as we are being told, with fingers being lobbed off and all of that, it's horrendous. But probably since the start of the show, a kid will have died in the Yemen because of Saudi Arabia. I don't know the exact stats, but so I'm kind of more concerned about that.
Yeah, but isn't it all part of the same thing, in that one state is acting with absolute impunity, carrying on exactly how they want, and they don't care if you see what they're doing or
But
not.
then why isn't everyone going, what about Yemen? Why is
I've
it
seen a lot of that, actually.
since the murder?
Yeah.
Right. But why was no one saying that before the murder? The only reason I know about it is because of the murder, and I heard someone mention it on a phone-in. Yeah, but what about what the Saudis are doing in Yemen? Okay, well, I'll check that out. But before it, why was no one going, that prince that's coming over and has taken over all the billboards in London, right? Why don't we have a little protest about the kids that are being murdered?
I heard stuff when he was coming over because it was in the wake of Trump, wasn't it? Was it a couple of? And they were saying, why is no one protesting this guy who is actually, as bad if not worse?
Right. Okay.
But it was always fringy. Now it's gone kind of more mainstream because of this outrage that's happened. To go into a consulate, he went to get permission to get married,
right,
and never came out again. And then we don't know what happened to him. And then it transpires 18 people came over, and there somehow was a fight.
Come on, guys! I don't know, but I just find it very hard.
I know what you mean.
To get emotionally excited. And I had the outrage that this guy's a journalist, and this is... all right, murder happens, and murder's horrendous, and this sounds like a particularly horrendous one. But those guys, under the orders of that Prince dude, those guys, it turns out, are doing much worse. Much worse. Can you tell I don't really understand world politics, but that is... I
mean, look at what they do to their own people in Saudi Arabia. There's like a 3-tier thing. It goes... Yep. Poor people, very bottom.
Yep.
I know people that have lived in Saudi Arabia and they've said, poor people, very bottom. You could murder one of them.
Hang on, Nick, turn your radio off, Nick.
You could...
I don't really understand world politics, but that...
Nick, turn your radio off. We're doing a serious bit here, mate. No time for levity or brevity.
Poor people, very bottom. I know people that have lived in Saudi Arabia...
Just wait for the delay to catch up. Sorry, Catherine, you're making a really good point. Hold on to it. Don't let it go. So, turn the radio off, Nick.
Hello?
Yeah, turn the radio off, mate.
It's off, man.
OK, let Catherine just finish her point and then we'll come to you, brother.
So I know people who've lived in Saudi and they said there are very poor people there who you could murder in front of a police officer and they wouldn't care as long as you're a foreigner or you're someone higher.
Oh, really?
You can do whatever you want if you're in the right family. If, one of the prince's mates wants to pop you off in front of a police officer, you can do it.
That's the risk you take.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and have gay sex on a Saudi beach.
I wouldn't.
I'm going to do it.
I really wouldn't.
Teach those guys a lesson. Nick, do you want to have gay sex with me on a Saudi beach?
No, I've been to Turkey, though.
Did you have gay sex there?
No, I saw England win 8-0.
I'm assuming you mean...
Istanbul.
Not Constantinople.
Yeah, it's Constantinople.
No, it's not. It never was Constantinople. Anyway, Nick...
It was Constantinople.
It was never Constantinople.
It was Constantinople, yes.
It was Constantinople, yes. It was never Constantinople.
And now it's
Istanbul, not Constantinople.
You're repeating yourself now, man. I like you. I like your show.
It's the best.
Brilliant. I love it.
I love you, Nick.
Yeah.
You're my favourite caller.
Yeah.
What have you called in for?
What's your favourite caller, Ian? Listen, I've got into art, Ian.
Oh, yeah?
I've turned my bedroom into an art studio. How about that?
That sounds great. Getting high on those fumes?
No.
You should do.
No. Why do you assume that artists have got paint fumes coming out of their ear holes?
I didn't mention anything about ear holes.
Or nose holes, then.
Thank you. Because paint... if you're painting in a bedroom, that's an enclosed space.
No.
Oh, it's an open space. You live in an outdoor bedroom.
I've just started. I use my balcony normally, but now the weather's coming in. I'm using my bedroom.
What do you paint?
Yeah, cool.
Do you paint nudes?
No.
I'm trying to do a joke there. Do you paint?
A lot of people want me to paint them, and I say, well.
Do you paint nude?
No, he prefers canvas.
Yeah.
It
doesn't. It's not quite there.
It's not. No. No,
I'd love a portrait done, Nick.
Sex is real. I think sex is like...
Sex is real? Where did that come from? Sex is real?
Of course it is, yeah.
Prove it. Do it now. Make it happen.
No, you're just getting titillating. That's not abstract. That's just being silly.
The world needs more silliness, Nick. Doesn't it? It needs more silly.
Hey, what I wanted to phone up about was I've been looking forward to the Laurel and Hardy film.
Yeah.
But it's not coming out till next year. What do you think about that, Ian?
Well, the premiere was yesterday, so that makes me think it must be coming out soon.
Yeah, well, that was in France or somewhere, though, wasn't
No, it was in London. Catherine, could you find out when the Laurel and
I'm already on
what
it.
date next month the Laurel and Hardy film comes out?
Next year, January or February, isn't it? Oh, man.
Mate, why would they have the London premiere yesterday if it's not coming out for 3 or 4 months?
Well, I've been looking out for it. It's Steve Coogan and John Thompson. And I
John
think
C.
it'd be
Reilly.
really... Because I love Laurel and Hardy, and I think that'd be a great film to see at the cinema, for a change, like. What do you reckon?
Well, I was disappointed to find out I'd missed. I was waiting for it to come out, and I went online. It came out a month ago. The House with the Clock in its Walls.
What?
Came out a month ago. September the 21st it came out. I missed it. So we watched Goosebumps 2. Now, that's a good film. I think you'd like it, Nick. Goosebumps 2.
21st of October.
21st of October. What? Laurel and Hardy?
To yesterday.
The Laurel and Hardy film's out now, Nick.
Wow. I thought it was coming out next year.
Well, it came out yesterday.
I'll be as soon as I see it, I'll go and see it. I've got a girlfriend lined up.
No, you haven't.
So it's cool.
Okay. Have you painted her nude?
I have. Pardon?
Have you painted her nude?
She's been painted nude, actually. Yes, she has. Yeah.
By you?
No, not by me. No.
Does that make you jealous? Another artist has got his
no
oils all over her.
She told me, but there's nothing sexual in it.
Oh, come on!
Trying to put this sexual angle.
Come on, mate. If you're getting painted nude, you're going to be hot and horny. I would be. I was when I was a nude model. I was horny.
You've done it.
Of course, I've done it. They had to get me some bananas to hide behind because I was so turned on. Just have like 15 people of all different ages, ethnicities, genders, just staring at me. Loved it.
Carried away now.
I would have got carried away, but they frown on that kind of thing. You're not allowed to move. Otherwise, it'd have been a very blurred picture. There'd been a lot of blurring in it. Billy Whiz.
All right, we get it. Flipping it.
Okay. No, it's a great show.
Thank you, Nick.
I'm just checking in, but it's great to talk to you guys, and I hope you carry on. I hope you stay with the Talk Radio.
So do I, mate. It pays my wages. Thank you very much, Nick. Nice to talk to you, fella. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. This is the Late Night Alternative at Talk Radio.
Uncut after-hours conversation for the up-all-night generation. The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
0344 499 1000. Yeah, John, what do you want? Make it quick, because you'd bore me. You insipid, insulting scumbag. Hello, John.
Hi.
Get to the point, you slime ball.
You sound like you have a cold. I hope you get better.
Get stuffed.
Did you hear the story with the lioness that killed the lion?
Yep.
Turns out that the lioness was inspired by the hashtag #MeToo movement.
Okay, so this is a story that somewhere, I don't know if it was a zoo or a wildlife reserve, I only saw the headline.
Yep.
A lioness, I think it was a zoo, lioness killed a lion, which is unusual, and the staff were alerted because there was a lot of screaming and there was a lot of noises coming on. And John thinks that is a great springboard to make a joke about rape and sexual abuse. So let's see how this goes. John, carry on with the comedy routine about rape and sexual abuse. Away you go.
No, that's all. That's all I had to say. You make with it what you want, as usual.
You got no more material about rape and sexual abuse? Because that's what the Me Too movement. That's what the Me Too.
You made a left turn.
Yeah, you start your premise. Your premise was already on the wonk. You know what Me Too is about. It's about people who have been sexually abused, who have been raped, or who have been downtrodden simply because of their gender by men, and have had their careers at best made uncomfortable, at worst
and men who
completely.
behave like
just hang on one second,
like
John. Hang on
predators.
1 second. We have a conversation. Yep. Women who've had their jobs at very best made uncomfortable, the workplace made very uncomfortable at best, and at worst have had their careers ended, their relationships ended, have been sexually abused, raped, violated. It covers that whole broad spectrum, and probably a whole lot more that I don't understand. But I'm if anyone wants to educate me, 03444991000. And you have decided to come on and use a really weird story about a lioness killing a lion.
Because that was abused. That was abused as well by the opposite sex. Was abused. It was abused. It was meant to help them out, and they abused it.
Okay,
right?
John. Okay, John. That's your worst one yet, mate.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. He really knows how to misjudge a crowd, doesn't he? He really knows how to misjudge a crowd. That's his worst one yet.
What a prat. I mean, really.
Have I got the premise behind Me Too?
Yeah, and I'm kind of
right?
fed up of stupid, usually blokes, I've got to say it, throwing up, oh yeah, Me Too, as if it's just women having a go at men. It's not just women having a go at men.
Hang on, though. I'm now single, and I don't feel safe approaching women, asking them out on dates in case I get accused of rape.
Well, as long as you're not asking them out on dates with your willy in your hand, you're probably going to be all right. Here's a tip for you guys. Anyone confused about, whether you're going to get Me Too'd, if she's fully dressed and you've got your willy out, you're probably going to get Me Too'd.
It's really simple. I can't even approach a lady now because she's going to accuse me of rape. Well, here's the thing, right? Don't rape her. That's a standard I kind of live my life by.
And don't be a div.
Of course you can ask people out. Of course you can ask people out. Just like Kath says, don't get your willy out. Don't go in going, ha, 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 ha.
Don't say anything you don't want to read in the papers.
Yeah, that's it. Simple. Imagine it's your mum or your daughter. Not that, obviously, because that would be weird.
If someone said it to your sister.
There we go. Thank you. I can't ask a lady out anymore, because I'm going to be accused of rape. Well, yeah, if you rape her, you will.
If you're frightened that your behaviour is so creepy that you're going to get exposed, maybe change your behaviour.
Yes, man. But thanks for that.
Good one, though, John. Nice.
Funny. It was funny, though. It was funny. I did enjoy it. 03444991000 is the telephone number. Good evening, Paul.
Ian, good evening. Hello, Catherine.
Hiya, Paul.
Hello. I've never phoned a radio station, ever.
We're taking your radio cherry. I like it.
Yeah, so I'm a first-time caller, and before I go on to my subject, I'd like to just give you a bit of feedback about your show. I can honestly say it's hilarious, innovative, just makes me laugh all the time. It's just a brilliant show.
All the time? Hang on, if he's laughing all the time, we're doing something wrong, because sometimes we do serious bits.
I know.
He's not taking... Well, there we go. We got that wrong. All right. Well, you're very kind, Paul. Thank you very much indeed. I appreciate that a lot. What have you got for us tonight?
Pleasure. Now, I heard you talking about how you spoke to your two sons, and obviously you clearly adore them, and how you spoke to them about the swear words and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, I was born in 61. I'm now 57, and on listening to you, I was thinking, wow, the way you spoke to them, the way you dealt with that's like fantastic parenting.
Thanks, man.
Now, I just had a flashback. Now, this is how I was disciplined. Now, I hope you believe what I'm going to say. I'm not going to embellish this in any way whatsoever.
Yeah.
But when I was around 10 or 11, I think I said something like bugger.
Yeah.
And at the time, with me being a child of the 60s, remember we used to have coal fires?
Oh, yeah, of course.
And you'd have to stoke the coal fire with a poker.
No, I think I know where this is going. I don't want it to go there.
I promise you. Now, my parents were good people, but my father was fiercely, fiercely strict. Now, what he actually did was he sat me down at the side of the coal fire. He put the poker in the fire. He waited till it was red hot. He grabbed the back of my neck and he held it to the side of my face. Now, I promise you, I'm not trying to do this for dramatic effect. Now, there was another instance where I said something very sort of, nothing, I was about 10 or 11. I think I said bugger or something. And at the time, there was fairy carbolic soap, which used to have to rub on the cuffs and collars of shirts.
Yep.
To get it. He scraped that on my teeth.
Yeah, I heard that.
And made me swallow it. I think I was speaking in bubbles for a fortnight. But
I had that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Flipping horrible.
And yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? Now, parenting is the biggest responsibility in the world. Yeah. And I adored my parents, but I was so scared of my father. It was so extreme that you'd be locked up for that nowadays.
That is, I mean, that's pretty hardcore, man. That's
it is, isn't it?
It is.
It's Victorian parenting, is what it is.
Absolutely.
How do you look back on your dad in the context of that and everything else that happened? Do you think he was fair? Do you think he was a product of the times? Do you think he was a thug? What do you think?
I adored my father. I loved him so much. My father was ill all of my life, really. He had emphysema and bronchitis, and he died in 2002. I loved him so much. Yeah. And I don't have any anger or any bad feelings towards him at all. He was just doing the best that he knew. But it's strange, really, that now I'm older, I don't know, it's a mitigating factor, but I have crippling anxiety. I really do struggle with anxiety. Yeah. And I'm not saying I'm saying it's maybe partly to blame how I was brought up, but it certainly didn't do me any favours.
Thanks for sharing that, Paul, and thanks for the kind words on how I dealt with the situation at the weekend. I really appreciate it.
Well, keep up the good work.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
There you go.
Yeah,
man.
that soap thing. But I got off lightly, according to... It was my mum that did it, because when she did it as a kid... Her dad gave them... She and her twin sister had both been... Well, one of them had been caught swearing in the street, and they couldn't work out which twin had done it. So, Grandad got a bar of soap, cut it in half, and they had to eat it. Not just have it rubbed on their teeth, they ate it. I mean, flipping heck, how could you do that to your kids?
Paul has texted in. You can text in. I never do the text. 87222. Start the word talk. 25 pence per message, plus your standard network rate. The spelling in this is atrocious, Paul in Hove, but I get what you're saying. Iain, you're not always the best of commentators, and now you want to discuss swearing, but without the actual words, 2 exclamation marks.
Yes.
Well, yeah, because we lose our jobs. So, yeah, and you don't need to discuss swearing, and you don't need to say the words, So, yeah, I would. Yet in front of your female companion... Who am I, Doctor Who? I'm Doctor Who in my TARDIS with my female companion?
Also, if this is about to be swearing in front of someone who's not got a penis, you don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, well, it's not swearing. Yet in front of your female companion, you use the euphemism, shoot your load.
Yeah.
Not your best polite moment, eh?
Hey, guess what? I've got 2 kids. You can say that in front of me.
Kath has literally shot her load in front of me. I'm just saying the words. The switchboard's empty for the first time since we started. So there we go. That's nice. 0344 499. You'll make a little bit less noise, Catherine.
I want to get this in the bin. Can I do it now?
Yeah, sure. Go and do it now. You won't. Told you. 0344 499 1000. This is the late night alternative with Iain Lee and Catherine Boyle on Talk Radio.
The wild man of late night radio.
The late night alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000. This Saturday night, Catherine and I will be hosting the first Rabbit Hole Picture Show. There's now 13 tickets left, because we just sold 2 more. Yes. Which is great. We gave away a couple of tickets. 13 tickets left. They're only £8 each. You get to see a movie. Me and Kath do a little mini rabbit hole at the start. You can talk. You can shout out during the movie. There's a bar there which will be open while the entire thing is on. And afterwards we got Gary Smart, is his name, who is showing Fright Night, and he made a brilliant documentary about Fright Night. And he's going to come and we'll do a Q&A and we'll interview him. And if you've got any questions, any thoughts, if you want to just shout out, say, I thought that film was SH1T. You can do that. We're doing another one in November on a Sunday afternoon, and I'm really gutted because the thing I wanted to get was this brilliant BBC documentary. So it was a brilliant documentary series in the early 90s called Teenage Diaries. And a load of teenagers, sort of 14, 15, 16, 17, were given video cameras. At the time, video cameras were a big thing, and they filmed their lives, and they went out as a series. And they were great. Someone I was in college with did one when I was doing my A-levels again, a girl whose name I can't remember. And she had been adopted by 2 gay men. Have I got that right? Anyway, she's really nice. And one of them was this guy, Chris Needham, who starts this rock group called Manslaughter. It's so good. It's so funny. And I'd been and seen Marilyn, I'll come to you in a second. I'd been to the Barbican about 15 years ago when they had an evening of music films, and that was one of the things that they showed. You had to buy a ticket for it, which is important. And that was one of the things they showed. 15 years ago, yeah. And I thought it'd be great to do a double bill of a silly film like Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park, which I'm still trying to work out who owns the rights to. And this, because it's like 40 minutes long, so you do that as a B movie, then you have a break, and then you show the main feature. So I've been in touch with the BBC licensing department, and it's so complicated. You've got to fill in this form, and then they reply to you, but then you've got to go back to the form, and you can't reply to the email. You've got to go back into the form with your reference and refill the form. It's a BBC...
Bureaucracy at the BBC would have thought it.
So I said, right, I want to license this. And they say, OK, right, fine, we need to know some things, capacity of the venue, will you be charging, will there be paid guests? I said, right, OK, well, the venue holds 65, and we'll probably be charging £7 or £8, and we're going to try and get some guests, but we can't guarantee anything. So then they reply, and they always reply about 8 o'clock at night. So you know it's like the last thing they've sent, and then because you can't reply.
Respond, yeah.
And it takes 3 or 4 days to get a reply, and they've gone, well, unfortunately, because you're charging for this, we can't let you have it. Have a great event. And so I've replied, well, OK, well, I paid to see it 15 years ago at the Barbican, OK, and they would have done it legitimately. Maybe the rules have changed, but OK, supposing it was now I'm on a mission. Now I've got a cob on. I said, OK, so if we didn't charge, could we show it? I bet they come back and say no.
No.
I bet they come back and say no. So annoying. So anyway, so we're going to do another one in November. It's going to be a Sunday afternoon. And I don't know what we're going to show yet. I want to do something musical, but I realise I'm really leaving it late, and it will be great to... in fact, that's what I've got to do tomorrow. It'll be great to be able to announce it on Saturday. So I've just got to... I want to show Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park, which is an incredible movie. So my to-do list, Kiss. And I hope I don't misinterpret that. Let's go. 0344 499 1000. Good evening, Marilyn.
Hello, Iain.
Hello, Marilyn.
It's a long time since I phoned you, but I'm ringing up to say what a lovely night when the lads was on Friday night.
Did you enjoy that?
I did, and I thought, what lovely boys.
Here's the thing, they weren't actually my children, they were actors.
Stunt boys.
They were stunt boys who were much... Well, that's very kind, because I did worry, Marilyn, that it was a little bit self-indulgent and people wouldn't have enjoyed it, and...
I loved them. I thought they were lovely. Reminded me of my two when they were little.
Oh, you don't want them, do you, for a month or so? Just
yeah.
Trust me, I had them for the weekend. Boy, oh boy, that house smells like nobody's business.
I bet.
As a direct result. Oh, well, thank you. What was funny, Marilyn, because they've been in a couple of times. They're a bit younger, obviously. And they've been saying for ages, the eldest was saying, when can we come in? When can we come into your work? I said, OK, well, at half term, we'll see if we can sort something out. So they came in, and obviously we had the brilliant Pete Heaton, the magician. And then once Pete went...
They really enjoyed him, didn't they?
Well, he was great, right? But then what happened was once he left, my eldest went, I'm a bit bored now, can I go and watch Netflix?
I know.
Unbelievable! Unbelievable. But I tell you what was lovely, Marilyn, there was a bit during one of the breaks when Pete kind of took my eldest is quite shy, right? And Pete took my eldest to one side. And I looked over, and I didn't stare, but I was looking out the corner of my eye, and they sort of turned their backs to me. And it's because they were having a secret magic conversation, and Pete was explaining to him how he could do his trick a little bit better and was showing him some techniques, and they didn't want me to see. And I felt a little bit excluded because you're a parent and you do, but I thought what a lovely thing of Pete to do, and B, I was so proud of my boy. I was so proud of my boy, just talking to a magician.
Sorry.
Cough it up, chicken. It might be a gold watch. Uh-oh.
Something there.
Get someone standing by. Marilyn may not make it to the end of this call. Marilyn, we need all of the listeners we can get. I forbid you to choke.
I listen every night to you, but I've been. It's a long time. I don't know if you remember the last time I phoned. I was telling you to take the boys camping.
I do remember.
That was you! I do remember that. You... What did you... Because you used to go camping for like a month or something, didn't you?
We did the Pennine Way with them when they were like just a bit older than yours, 9 and 10.
You're crazy, lady.
I was. I wish I could do it now.
I bet you do. I
was about 40 then, and it was great, but I'm not in good health at the moment.
Oh, mate, is it
this year? So.
Oh, well, they don't listen. They don't stay babies for long, do they?
They don't. I mean, now they're both older than you.
Well, they're probably both older than you now. They must be. They've got to be like old men now.
They're getting, one's 48 and one's 46.
Aye. And I bet it, it seems like yesterday that you were wiping their backsides.
I know.
Getting them into their shorts.
Now I've got 6 lovely grandchildren of them.
Fantastic.
And they're all, I've got 4 boys and 2 girls. So.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And I bet they make a big fuss of Grandma when they come round.
They do. Well, 3 of my grandchildren live in Scotland, and so they've just told us if there's a match on this weekend, they're coming down, all of them. They come and stop and...
use you as a nice hotel if there's a bit of football on. Outrageous.
They've been down a lot this year with us being so poorly, but the other one comes every Saturday, but he works away during the week. He lives about 10 miles away, so... Yeah. But, so I spend a lot of time on my own now, because my husband died 2 years ago.
Oh, mate, I'm sorry.
That's my second one. I don't know what I'm doing to them.
The Black Widow strikes again.
I know. My grandson's just said he's just getting a job with a Lloyd's Bank, and he says he's doing Scottish widows. I says, what about the bloody English widows?
Well, Marilyn,
expert at that.
You've got time to find a third, and maybe that one will work out for you. I don't know.
If I could get myself out the house, I might, but I cannot. I think I'm getting a bit agoraphobic.
Oh no, really?
I've always been I've got my little car there, and I always used to just go off all over the place, but I'm having a lot of trouble with my health, different problems, and so it's curtailing us.
Well, Marilyn, listen, don't you're I love it when you give us a call. You're welcome to call us up. We're here Monday to Friday. You can give us a call any time, even if you've got nothing to say. You just want to, hear another voice. You'll be very, very welcome to give us a call any time.
Can I just ring you up and mourn, eh?
Yes! So everyone else does, Marilyn.
Give somebody else a break.
Marilyn, you'd be very welcome to ring us up and moan. We'd love it. We love it. And it's nice to hear you laughing, my dear.
Oh, I do. I'm happy by myself. I'm not lonely, but it's very, very quiet where I live, and you don't see anybody really,
And does that bother you? Because it's quiet where I live now, and I love it. I love it.
It's just that I had to get a gardener in the first time last week. Because one of my grandsons was keeping it right, but he's gone back to uni, and but I always could do the garden and everything, and I'm not. It's frustrating.
Yeah, of course it is. It is.
If I could just do what I'd be all right,
Yeah.
See, when my first husband died, I was only 51, and I was working. I had my own business and that, and so I had loads going on in my life, and seen loads of people.
Is the gardener fit? Does he, when it's hot, does he take his shirt off?
No. Not, is it Lady Chatterley's lovely?
That was it. Yes. That was it.
Never one of them.
Yeah.
No,
it's not happening, is it? All right.
Nah.
Well, Marilyn, listen, we've got to go to the news, but it's lovely to talk to you, and you give us a call any time. All right, my dear?
Remember, them lads are a credit to you. They're lovely.
Bless you. That's very, very kind of you to say, Marilyn. I'm sure your boys are too. It sounds like they're great. Thank you very much indeed. What a lovely lady. We'll talk a little bit about when your body starts giving up on you, which is, I didn't want to ask her what was wrong with her, none of my business. If she wants to tell us, she's very welcome to. But we'll talk after 11 because we're about to go to the news, but just finish reading that Robin Williams book. I mean, the ending of that, the last 2 or 3 chapters had me in bits. Absolutely in bits. I didn't know why he'd killed himself. I thought it was because there were so many things. And I tweeted it, and a load of people went, oh, actually, no, we did know that. That was out there. So I must have missed it. But all of the reasons I thought he'd killed himself were wrong. And also, it was 4 years ago. 4 years ago this month, I think. It was October 2014, or maybe November 2014, that he killed himself. I thought it was last year. That's incredible. 4 years. Poor old Robin Williams. It's an incredible book. And the last year, really, was so sad for him. Anyway, we'll talk about that a little bit. We've got loads more to talk about. Tiggy Winkles, Goosebumps 2. And then some silly website has got some psych hacks to help you get through life. Don't know what that means. 0344 499 1000. This is Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Well, I'm not the kind to kiss and tell, but I've been seen with fire up. I've never been with anything less than a 9. So fine, I've been on fire with Sally Field, gone past with a girl named Bo, but somehow they just don't end up as mine. It's a death-defying life I lead. I take my chances. I die for living in the movies and TV. But the hardest thing I ever do is watch my leading ladies kiss some other guy while I'm bandaging my knee. I might fall from a tall building, I might roll a brand new car, 'cause I'm the unknown stuntman that made Redford such a star. I've never spent much time in school, but I taught ladies plenty. It's true, I hire my body out for pay. Hey, I've gotten burned over Cheryl Teague's, blown up for Raquel Welch. But when I wind up in the hay, it's only hay. Hey, I might jump an open drawbridge or Tarzan from a vine, 'cause I'm the unknown stuntman that makes Eastwood look so fine.
Oh, 344 499 1000 is the telephone number to call. The Late Night Alternative, weeknights between 10 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning, on Talk Radio with me and Catherine Boyle. You can listen on DAB. You can download the app, or you can go to talkradio.co.uk, podcasts and all of that stuff as well. Like, subscribe, share. Switchboard is empty, which means if you don't call in, it's going to be me talking for ages, and that's boring. 0344 499 1000. Some of the stuff we've spoken about already. Kids swearing. My 8-year-old said the F word at the weekend, not in an aggressive way, in a very nervous, I think I know some swear words. And I coaxed them out of him. It was the F word and it was crap. And we had a chat about it and about why some words are more powerful than others. And I personally think it's silly that some words are more powerful than others, but they are. And don't ever say that in front of your grandmother, because it would probably, it would actually cause a heart attack to take place, I think. And of course I recorded him saying it as well. So I've now got that treasure. Forever. We've talked about Saudi Arabia, and I don't really, the great scheme of things, you know, the death of this journalist, Jamal Khashoggi gentleman, is sad and is horrific and is a crime, but after doing a little bit of research, turns out Saudi Arabia is doing a lot worse stuff than that. Who would have thought it? And yet that Prince dude came over and took up all of the advertising space in London, and we knelt down in front of him, asked him to turn around, lifted his robes and kissed his ass. And he's a dodgepot, but we'll always kiss his ass because they spend billions and billions of dollars on weapons. Who'd have thought it, guys? 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Why the hell was Howard Hughes doing Rock and Roll Myths at the weekend? Howard Hughes, the Unexplained, was doing Rock and Roll Myths. I must admit, I fell asleep, which is the greatest compliment I think you can pay to any late night radio presenter. I never take it as an insult when people say, I fell asleep listening to you. Great. I'm doing my job. You're falling asleep listening to me? Perfect. And I fell asleep listening to Howard because I had the kids. I was shattered. But he did an hour. Coming up in an hour, we've got somebody in to talk about the greatest rock and roll myths of all time. Howard Hughes. Rock and roll myths. What? Very confused. I didn't hear it, so maybe it was brilliant. If you heard it, because I do love Howard Hughes. I don't think this is a Matthew Wright knocking, a bloke I cannot stomach. But, by the way, if you want to read all about Matthew Wright's forthcoming baby, get the Daily Star. He's on a 2-page spread. He's selling his kid before it's even born. But yeah, if maybe you did listen to the Howard Hughes rock and roll. Can I just have a sip of water? I've got a very dry throat. Sorry, hang on. Thank you. If you've if you heard Howard Hughes on Sunday, 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Plenty to talk about in this hour. Let's go to Jasmin first. Good evening, Jasmin.
Good evening, Ian. Hi, Catherine.
Hey, Jasmin.
Jasmin, your English has improved in the few months since we last spoke.
Yes, I had to listen. I'm in big trouble here in Switzerland because I actually became famous.
And it's actually got worse in the last few seconds. You became famous?
Yes. Do you remember about my project about me wandering around and eating people's eye diseases?
You were eating people's eye diseases?
I'm curing them.
Hang on a minute. So you were doing a project, right? And it was
Yes.
you were going around. What were you doing with people's eye diseases?
I'm actually inventing a special training for the eye muscles.
Yeah.
But more for the brain.
Yeah.
For people who have hyperopia and have myopia.
Wow.
And now I've specialized in curing hyperopia.
Who is in? I'm in hyperopia.
No, she specialised in
Oh,
it.
but someone had. I got confused. Someone had europia.
Hyperopia, that is.
But what was the other one? You said something about europia.
Myopia. That
Yeah,
is,
europia. So what is it? Tell me about this opia of yours. What is it?
I have myopia and
Yeah,
that
europia.
means that
Yeah.
I have trouble.
What is
That means
europia?
that I have trouble to to say that is short-sightedness.
So europia is short-sightedness.
What's myopia?
Europia. Yeah, europia. Exactly.
Uh-huh.
So europia is
no,
short.
the disease is myopia.
Yeah, europia. Yeah, that's short-sightedness. But others have different opias.
No, it's called myopia.
I know, that's what we're talking about for the moment, europia, but try to just focus off you a little bit and on others, so we know what europia is.
Mm-hmm.
What other opiates do people have? So we know what europia is, yes?
No, I don't think you got it right.
Well, tell me again about europia.
There's a disease that's called myopia.
Yeah, yours, yes.
And not myopia. But I think
Not myopia. I haven't got an opia. So don't turn this on me. I want to know about Jasmin. I want to know about europia.
You have this as well, myopia.
I haven't got it. No, you've got it. You've got it. So yeah, tell me about europia.
Yeah, listen, I've been curing people who have hyperopia, and they were quite thankful.
And so is europia...
because,
and we'll talk about the others in a minute. I can get 2 hours out of this. You talk about the others in a minute. Is europia cured?
Not yet.
Well,
but I'm still working on it.
Well, I pray for you. I pray for you. Tell me about the others. Tell me about the others opias.
So I've already cured 2 people.
Yep.
And they've thrown away their glasses. And then they told other people, and so I became famous. But
hang on, so you encourage people to throw away their glasses? You're like John Gaunt, but with results. This is incredible. Can you cure? I don't know if Kath, have you got an opia?
I have, yeah.
Can you cure Kath's opia?
Maybe, yes. Maybe.
Go on then. Do it now.
Shall I take my contact lenses out and flush them? No, don't flush them. They go into the water system. Put them in the bin.
But that means fish can see really, really well, and then they can escape from sharks, and so that it totally messes up the whole food chain. That's why there's a shortage of cod.
Anyway.
I think Jasmin is just starting to realise this is the most nonsensical call we've had this hour. Okay, but then you said you were famous, but now you're not famous.
No, the thing is that I became more and more famous because a lot of people want to be cured by me and by my invented exercises. And it's a bit of a problem because I never want it to be about me. I wanted to be, about the purpose of healing people.
Healing people, yes. You're a little bit like Christ. Give us one of the exercises.
I'm Googling Jasmin and opia, but I'm not getting anything.
Your opia isn't listed, Jasmin. Give us one of the exercises that we can do now for anybody who's got myopia. Or your opia.
Or their opia.
Yes, someone has
their own opias.
Said eating some cheeses.
Who thinks you're Jesus?
And
someone gave you some cheeses?
They thought I was Jesus.
They thought you were cheeses? I thought you were cheeses. God, their opiates must have been awful.
They really can't see at all.
So why don't you... OK, then. Why don't you give us an exercise to do now?
Okay, I have one exercise that has help for hyperopia, and it is called a pen exercise.
A pen exercise, OK.
Do you have a pen?
Yeah, I have a pen. Yes, I do. You got a pen, Catherine?
No.
You normally do, because you're a spod. You're a spoddy bumlick that enjoys writing. There we go.
Thanks.
Like a square from the 1800s. Come on, like Charlotte Bronte.
All right, mate.
Yes. Yes, we have pens. Do we have to hold them under our breasts? Because I think I can now. Oh.
Indeed.
To err is to human. Give us the bloody exercise, Jasmin!
Yes, I'm actually doing it. So you take a pen.
You're doing it, but we don't know what it is.
In front of your eye.
And make it go bendy. Yeah?
Put it backwards and forwards.
Are we supposed to look at
so
it?
the eyes can focus on different... do you know what I mean? On different distances, yeah.
Can we stop yet?
Try it out, please.
I can feel myopia getting better.
Nah.
No. So what is this doing, apart from potentially losing our jobs and making us look like idiots?
No, in fact, you have to cover one of your eyes. It makes you look even more funny.
Now she tells me. She tells now you didn't say we had to cover an eye.
Yeah, you actually have to.
Okay. Well, Jasmin, thank you so much for your call. It's nice talking to a medical wonder such as yourself.
Europia.
Europia?
Yes. Do you think they actually thought she was Jesus, or they just went, Jesus?
344 499 1000. This is Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
0344 499 1000. That's how the show rocks. People want to phone up and say they're Jesus. We'll take Ken will phone up and shoot you down in flames, holy flames, but yeah, you want to phone up and that's fine. Good evening, Drewsy.
Hi, Ian. All right, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right. Drewsy.
Yeah, not so bad. What do you think about this new law that's coming out about the cooking and driving law? I don't know if you've heard about it.
I've missed this one. I've not really been following the news this weekend. Away you go.
Drivers caught cooking whilst driving are to face tough penalties. The government says under new rules...
Hang on a minute. What if you're cooking at home but you still hold a valid driving licence?
Yeah, it's cooking and driving.
So
and
in the car?
Yeah, it says it's coming out next year, and the drivers will receive 6 points and face a £120 fine.
Okay, so it's not okay. Well, that's affordable. You got a clean licence, you got a few quid in the bank. It might be worth doing a little barbecue on your lap.
No, the police gave me this. I was cooking and driving. I got the document says it will be an effective deterrent against cooking drivers. Using portable gas cookers whilst driving a vehicle impedes the driver's ability...
Well, there's your loophole.
Yeah.
Doesn't mention pizza ovens.
Yeah, but I see lots of cyclists riding about. It's all right for them. I see lots of them cooking roastings on the handlebars.
Well, no. I'm not turning this into one of those drivers versus cyclists things. Yes, I've seen, like you say, I've seen cyclists cooking roast dinners. I've seen cyclists basting.
Yeah.
I saw one cyclist tossing pancakes while he was riding.
You didn't have to buy a gravy snorkel off eBay.
Stop it, Drusy, because I've seen just as many, if not more, drivers doing exactly the same thing in cars.
Yeah, but you haven't been harassed. I mean, the policeman...
I haven't been harassed.
The policeman said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm doing spaghetti bolognese." I said, "What does it look like?" Pasta, tin, tomato, onions and mince. And he said, "Well, to me it looks like you're either cooking spaghetti bolognese or pasta, tin, tomato and mince."
Yep. Okay.
So I said,
but this was before it became illegal, so you should have just told him to jog on.
I told him I was cooking a bit of both as it happens, because I wanted to provide a bit of, sort of light entertainment to it. But anyway...
Yeah, let's always try and make the copper that pulls you over laugh. That's what I've found. Well, it never worked.
Yeah, but
those guys have seen things that we can't even have in our worst nightmares.
I think it's an abuse of powers, mate.
OK, well, thank you very much indeed, Drusy. 0344 499 1000. Jasmine's a bit upset on Twitter. I don't think you got this right, Iain Lee. I'm curing people from short-sightening. It's a real problem. They're thankful. He got this wrong. He's not taking the problem as serious as it is. Apologies. But thing is, Jasmine, if you're going to just phone up and just talk specifically about your opia for a long, long time, when apparently lots of other people have opias, I think that's a little bit selfish.
I'm surprised at her, really, because I thought she was a lot more community-minded.
Well, you would think that she could see the bigger picture. Let's go to Sloop John B. Good evening, Sloop John B.
Am I live on air?
Unfortunately, you are.
Hey, we're the monkeys.
By the way, can I just say, right, this might not happen, right, but this Thursday, I have the great thrill of recording a very, very silly game show for Channel 5, right?
Okay.
And I was thinking, I'll do it for the money. Then it turns out the money is excellent. Okay. And then it turns out, ka-ching. And these are some of the people I'm on with, right?
Yeah.
Hosted by Lisa Tarbuck.
Excellent.
Team captains, Susan Coleman, and Danny Baker.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Richard Coles, the Reverend Richard Coles, is going to be on there. And at that point, I stopped listening to the names. I thought, this is it. I'm in.
It's proper.
It's based on an American show called Game Night, where basically you play lots of silly party games, right? Now, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing, and I don't know if this is going to happen, right? But I've been rehearsing. I had to do a pre-show interview today where they wanted, the kind of thing you get asked, have you got any celebrity stories? No. What's the worst thing that's ever happened to you at a party? I said, well, when I was 18, my friends didn't think I was drunk, so I got them to jump on my head to prove it, and that's how I chipped that tooth there.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That tooth there. But I said I don't go to parties. I hate parties. I don't go. I don't like people. So the pre-interview is going really badly, right? Because I've got nothing funny to say. And at the end he said, well, this is probably something you're going to say no to, but we've got a live band there, and we're just asking all of the contestants if, would you want to sing into the break or out of the break? I went, whoa! Dude! Yes! Yes, I want to sing into and out of every break on this show.
What song, though?
I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you, right? Because I don't know if it's definitely going to happen. Catherine's coming on Thursday, so she'll be able to...
Well, I was before I knew they were singing.
There might not be. There might not be. Just know, Catherine, if I'm sat there and I'm not given a microphone and the opportunity to stand in front of that band while we go into the adverts, then just know that inside I'm dying. Because I've been rehearsing... first of all, they asked what song, and I gave them a song. They came back and said, not this one. I went, no, that one. The one I've chosen.
Why don't you do Kung Fu Fighting by Carl Douglas? You like Bruce Lee films, don't you?
Yeah, because I'm a serious musician, mate. This is my one and only chance. And then they said, what key do you want it in? And I rather foolishly went, the same key as the record.
Oh.
And then I started singing to the record. I think I can just about pull it off. It's going to sound... I said, you've got to let me... Where's the... Let me go through the conversation. We did this bit of the conversation on WhatsApp, right? Hello, Iain. Michael from the Celebrity Game Night. I spoke with the band. Which of these songs do you prefer? Also, probably not a question you'll know the answer to, but what key are you most comfortable singing in? All of the keys! If you don't know, they asked if you wouldn't mind recording a bit down the phone. And I've replied, no, the song I chose, the same key as the record, I will destroy it. That's what I've written. I will
that's
destroy
for sure.
it. And he's replied, haha, amazing, love the confidence. And I went, yes! So
you're not doing Disney Girls, are you?
No, mate. No.
Don't murder that, man.
No. Jasmine's furious. She's got myopia. We know about that. We know about your opia. You and Kath have this as well. I haven't got your opia.
I haven't, actually. I've got astigmatism.
Let me have a look. Bloody hands. Good luck with having your life depending on glasses. Here we go.
The guilt cell. Always effective.
I'm not being rude. You are a little bit. You are a little bit. Jasmine, I've only just got glasses in the last 2 weeks. I don't really need them, but when I drive and when I watch Goosebumps 2 at the cinema, all it does for me is just bring things ever so slightly into sharper focus.
And here's the thing.
That's it.
I like my glasses.
And here's the thing. I look horny in glasses. I could not stop touching myself.
I look like a Nazi war criminal in glasses, so
okay.
I don't wear mine.
That's a look to go for. I would say the Gestapo uniform doesn't help you.
No, probably not.
And Jasmine, you're sick of your glasses, and that's great, and I get it. I get it.
Some people can't carry it off.
But I love my new glasses. They make me look cool. I like them. Make me feel important. It's a thing. And so I'm sorry, Jasmine, if you felt we weren't taking your opia seriously. Of course we're taking it seriously. So, John B, what have you got?
Right, I said something to you on Twitter, and I was inspired by a podcast I listened to actually talk to you about this face-to-face.
Oh, yes, go on.
Especially after what you said tonight with regard to the pantomime.
Can I just say this for those people that aren't on Twitter. What?
Katie Puckrick has just tweeted something I'm going to have to show you in a minute.
Is it vulgar?
Yes.
Is it her vulgar?
Almost.
Right. So here's the thing, right? I am never... Don't show it to me now. I've been doing this game for 20 years. Not once have I been asked to do a pantomime. And I really... Because that's good money, right? And I really thought, after the Jungle last year, I thought, I better get offered a pantomime this year. Nothing. Nothing at all. And I would do...
something better you could do.
I would do a pantomime like that.
So would I. Flipping heck, it's amazing.
I would love it, but no one's been in touch. No one's asked me.
What I was going to put to you is very similar to a pantomime.
Go on.
Right, I spoke to Pablo, who's another caller, just to get a second opinion on this, and we're both wrestling fans, right?
Okay, yeah.
And I spoke to someone else about this as well. Ian, I think you would be
two other people.
Hold on, I think you would be incredible as a bad guy manager, heel commentator for WWE.
I don't know what a heel... What does heel commentator mean?
Heel means like the bad guy who sort of is really nasty and kind of narcissistic and roots for the bad guy.
I am great at commentary. Anyone who saw my commentary of a domino topple will know that I do commentary like nobody. I'm like the best.
But the thing was, you had said before about auditioning and acting, and this is where you could have your cake and eat it, because you'd be broadcasting, which is what you do already. Yeah. But rather than commentary, when you're doing the cats do the funniest things, you could like really dig into that inner villain and just become this bad guy.
Which of you three is in charge of WWE then?
Good point. Thank you,
Well,
Catherine.
I'm working my way up. But what I was going to say was this podcast that I listened to is it's by a guy called Bruce Pritchard, who was a producer for WWE. Similar to Kath, he got into the business to be a presenter and became a producer, and was determined to get in front of the camera. So he came up with a character called...
But anyway.
Well, you said didn't you not say you want to be a presenter? Or
no, I have been a presenter.
What? Just calm down.
Sorry,
hang on a minute.
My apologies.
What's the attitude? Where's the attitude? He's phoned in with
bringing me into it and it's bullshine. Anyway, all right, crack on.
Well, then maybe right. So we got a little thing wrong. All right, he's coming with a suggestion. He's got a little thing wrong.
Back to you. Okay.
Back to
me. I've offended Cass.
Who cares?
Okay. Who
cares? I'll offend her. Yeah, have them, and that, and them.
I feel bad now because I don't want to call back in. Cass not going to let me on air.
Hang on, Cass, show me. An artist painted a bunch of famous celeb men going down on women, and it's really something. Hang on.
Drake.
Wow, there's Drake going down on a lady. There's James Dean going down on a lady. That is Mickey Rourke going down on a lady.
Is it?
Okay.
No, it's Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay, I don't really know famous people. Okay, so what? John Lennon drew pictures of himself going down on Yoko 40 years ago. So what? So what's new about this?
That one's controversial,
show, man.
But I don't. But so basically, it's paintings of men giving women oral pleasures.
Yeah.
So what? So what? She should come to my house She wants to draw a painting. Plenty of room.
Tweet it out there. See what response you
Well,
get.
actually, I don't know whether I think that this is out of order.
Why?
It's just a bit of fun, isn't it?
Well, all
I
right,
don't
imagine
know-
if it was famous actresses.
No, hang on. I don't understand the context. You've just shown me this. I've got no idea what the context of it is, so I
Well,
can't
just
make it.
this is just a...
Well, no, it's not. I don't understand
Is it
what you...
connected to the Me
Shut
Too
up!
thing,
Will you
or-
shut up for crying out loud, man?
It's nothing to do with me.
All right.
I don't want to do stupid wrestling. It's rubbish and boring. Goodbye. I have no idea what that context is. You've literally just shown me that while I'm talking to someone, so I've got no idea what the context of it is.
Okay, this is Brooklyn artist.
I don't really care. It's a woman-drawn picture of men licking women out. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I don't know what I'm supposed to go with it. I was talking to him, and you've shown me that, and I don't know where I'm supposed to go with it.
Well, was it... Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Thanks very much.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
0344 449 1000 is the telephone number. So what is this? I don't know what this is.
Right, so this is something that just got tweeted into my timeline, and it was one of these things that kind of took me aback. At first, you sort of think, that's quite funny because it's shocking. Why is it shocking? And then, I don't know if you.
But to describe it, because I describe what it is. Cause
Okay,
I don't
so
get it.
it is a woman who reckons that female sexuality isn't represented in mainstream media the same way men's is. So you get plenty of sort of sexualised pictures of women.
Yeah.
So what she's done is she's got a bunch of famous celeb men going down on women, and it's supposed to be a political statement. I don't know.
That's not a political statement. It's a ridiculous statement.
It's kind of salacious, which reflect the way we interact in real world. I wanted to explore fantasy from women's point of view.
Okay.
They're just kind of hokey portraits of famous men and women's legs. I don't know. And I just think if that was a bloke artist doing it with women, that'd be out of order. This is out of order, isn't it? Is it?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because these men have obviously got nothing to do with it, and it's their image. I don't know.
Let's get photos of the men doing it. John Lennon was drawing pictures of himself doing that years ago.
That was his choice, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. 0344 499 1000. John, sorry, but we got distracted there. I don't like wrestling though, so I don't understand why. Unless it's paying the big bucks, then I'm in. If it's paying the big bucks, I'll do anything for cash. But you've got. I don't think you have any power in the wrestling. World. I wish I'd gotten into wrestling in the 80s. Looking back on it, I think I would have dug it in the 80s with the Hulk Hogan, the Hoochie Cooch Man, Daddy Longlegs, Fingers Malone. I think there was one. Stamp on Your Head was another one. Big Butt.
The Undertaker, was he one?
There was one called the Ass Man.
No, there was.
Swear to God. And the Ass
Shut
Man.
up.
No, I swear to God. There was one called the Ass Man. And the Ass Man had his own theme tune that went, this is absolutely true. This was his theme tune. Billy Gunn was his name, right? And this was his theme tune.
I'm a nice man.
No.
Yes, I swear to God. Did you know this guy? Sam's nodding. Sam knows the Ass Man.
I'm a nice man. Yeah, I'm a nice man. I love to love 'em. I love to kick 'em. I love to shove 'em. I love to stick 'em. Love to float 'em. I love to watch 'em. I love to pick 'em. And I'm gonna kick 'em. 'Cause I'm a nice man.
He's a nice man.
I'm an ass man.
Such an ass man.
Yes, I'm an ass man.
He is an ass man. He loves ass. Okay.
Yeah, one of the lyrics is, I love to pick 'em.
Yep.
Ugh.
Yep.
Don't pick it, never get better.
Pick you.
Oh, right. Okay. So many asses, so little time. Only a tight one can stop me on the dime.
This is what I'm singing on Thursday. What am I doing on Thursday? What's happening on... when I'm doing the thing. It could be what I'm singing. I'm an ass man. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. So, the deer that I saved, I went and met the deer at the weekend. I went and met him. And he's alive! And he was walking a little bit. I went to Tiggy Winkles, which is where I took him, right? And it's this amazing place. And it's run by this bloke called Colin. And his dad set it up years and years ago, and now he runs it. He's good friends with Tony Hadley. He kept telling me, and I kept saying, who's this Tony? I don't know. Sorry, old man. I don't know who this Tony Hadley is you're talking about. Oh, he's a singer from the olden days. No, I don't know him. And he took me and the boys. We had an hour and a half in Tiggy Winkles. And there's a little bit where you can walk around, like if you're a punter, and you go and see that. They release all the animals into the wild, but then there are some that they can't release. They've got a lot of brain-damaged foxes. Someone's just texted that in that David Beckham picture of him going down on a lady, but possibly his wife, maybe Rebecca Luce, we don't know. He looks like he's just remembered he left the iron on.
He does. It looks like...
Have a little look. So we got to go behind the scenes. We got to go in the actual hospital where no one gets to go. My boys got to hold hedgehogs. They held hedgehogs. And it was incredible. And we were there for about an hour and a half. And it was everyone should go and visit Tiggy Winkles. Everyone should go to their website and should donate a pound if you want to donate a pound or £10 or whatever, because they do amazing things. They never put an animal down, and they have, get this, man, when we were there, they had 1,100 animals in their care. 1,100 animals, mainly hedgehogs. There's hedgehogs. People fed up with hedgehogs. Loads of pigeons. Who looks after pigeons? They look after pigeons and squirrels. It was incredible. And then as we're leaving, I said, "This is great, man. What can I do to help you?" And the long and short of it is, I'm the vice president of Tiggy Winkles now. All I had to do was pay them £5,000. No, I didn't pay them anything. I'm a vice president of Tiggy Winkles. I don't quite know what that means.
And that means if Miss Tiggy Winkle dies, you take over.
I become the queen for a day. So I'm the vice president of Tiggy Winkles, so I've now got responsibility and authority. Oh, yeah, and so we went and saw the deer, and there's like these little sort of motel section outside, but they're like tiny little stables. You've got to be quiet because the deer in there are resting, and also you can't talk too much because they'll become tame if they hear your voice. Right. So we opened the door, and there was my deer sort of just sat there, looked up, it went, "It's you again." I went, "Oh, it's you again." And it got up, and it ran around for a bit, and then it sat back down, and I was like, I'm thrilled. My boys had a big grin on their face. And it turns out, 0344 499 1000, by the way, it turns out that it had dislocated a leg, and that the vet couldn't snap it back into place. So they had to do a little operation. They opened it up, and they had to smooth down some of the bone. They had to smooth down some of the bone.
So what, do they reckon it was hit by a car or something?
They don't know. They don't know, because... I guess maybe it must, but there was no blood. There was nothing like that. It probably was hit by a car because it was in the middle of a road. And he said, "There's a muntjac deer," and I always thought it was monk jack, but it's munt jack. And he said, "You picked it up, didn't you? And put it in the car." I went, "Yeah." He said, "That was a brave thing to do. You know those things are vicious."
They've got really long teeth.
I went, what, deers?" He said, "No, not all deers. Muntjacks are violent little thugs. And you're lucky you got all of your fingers." I'm friends with this guy, this little deer. Anyway, it's alive and it's well. And we're going to get Colin. I said to Colin, "You've got to come on the radio at some point." The guy that runs it's a fascinating story about how his dad gave up his business to look at. He found like a hedgehog or something and brought it home and went, "Oh, I don't know what to do with this." And that was it. He found a hedgehog, or a deer. Hedgehog, I think. And it was injured, and he took it to the RSPCA, and they said, "OK, no, we'll take him and we'll put him down." And he went, "What? What are you doing that for?" He said, "Well, we've got no way to look after it." So he said, no, I'll take it home and look after it. And he gave up his business to start caring for animals. And now his son does it. And his son is as nuts as me. And it was lovely. Apparently he's good friends with Tony Hadley, who's a singer from the olden days. He kept telling me. And he treated my kids like royalty. So anyone like that who looks after my kids, I'm in. But it was a thrill, man.
So going back to the thuggishness of them,
yes.
Do you think that's why? Remember when you were taking him out of the back of your car, and the nurses would say, "No, don't." I
think so. Maybe it's because I was. I don't know. Maybe it's because I was moving him, and it was fine when I put him in, but I think he was in a little bit of pain when I got him out. Was a bit more disturbed, but it was great, man. You should take the girls there. I
didn't even know it was open to the public.
Well, there's a little bit that's open to the public, but we got to see all around. We got to see these massive. They're like Bulgarian. I think it was Bulgarian or Romanian owls, right? This owl was that big. How big's that? 3 foot? 2.5 foot?
2.5 maybe.
2.5 foot. An owl that big. That big. They're not natives here, so they've got these owls that people have bought as pets, and then gone, these owls have got quite big, and they can't release them into. They don't know what to do with them because they can't release them into the wild because they're so massive, and then they're massive owl. I've never seen anything like it in my life. Never seen anything like it.
Can't imagine.
I'm a nice man. Sorry.
Can't imagine they'd be great pets. An owl. I mean.
Vicious.
What can you do with it?
Vicious buggers. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. This is the Late Night Alternative on Talk Radio.
The radio show for people who know the best part of the day is the night.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
0344 499 1000. We've talked about Saudi Arabia. We've talked about celebrities going down on women. I still don't get. So what? But so she's saying that there is not enough. All pornography.
Yeah, pornography is generally
social media
flogged towards men.
Not social media. What am I talking about? Pornography and
in the mainstream media.
Mainstream media is skewed at men, but that isn't that partly. What are you talking about? I've seen two women kissing. Seen two women going down on each other. I got loads of videos like that on my phone.
Yeah, but not so many men.
Is this a myth then? This is the thing I always thought, that men are more visually stimulated and women are more aurally.
I don't know.
Orally is how it's pronounced, but if I say orally, you're going to think I'm talking about that, and I mean aurally stimulated. So men like watching people at it, and women like men going, or people going, I'm going to stick my thing inside your thing. I'm gonna lick you so much, you naughty little girl, and I'm gonna really.
Oh God.
Sort you. I'm gonna sort you out and spank that ass.
Sort you out.
I'm gonna spank your ass. Spank that big fat old ass of yours, baby. Gonna love it. You're gonna have sweat dripping down. Is it sweat? May not be sweat. Something's gonna be dripping down.
Oh God.
Your big ass.
Right. No.
So do women?
I think that might be a myth put about by men who don't like to think of women enjoying.
Would women like
visuals?
This? I'm a nice man. Here's the thing, though. That's incorrect because men would love to sit at home and women to go, there's nothing on the telly. Should we put Pornhub on? Let's get Pornhub on and let's just watch porno. Okay.
Yeah, but then the problem is finding one that kind of suits everyone, and everyone.
Well,
porn is a kind of solo pursuit, isn't it?
Not when I was 18, 19 years old. What would we do? This is a thing you don't know about. When we're 18, 19 years old, you watch porn with your friends.
Yeah, I've done that.
And then you go, right, I think I'm going to go upstairs to bed.
Ah, no!
Good night, guys. It's been a long old night.
No, well, I remember videos doing the circuit, and I remember being at parties when one would come out.
Sorry?
But it was always like, we'd always laugh about it. I'm sure there was none of that going on.
Well, but
I think.
Yeah.
I think. I remember seeing one that was based loosely on the Alien series.
Oh, God.
It was ridiculous.
But so women, I know that some women do like porn, but it's mainly a male thing.
I think most porn is made for the male market, isn't it?
But what porn would you make for a woman then? What porn would you? Because some men like watching two women getting off. But that doesn't apply in reverse. Women don't necessarily like watching two men getting off because that's a bit too gay for them.
Some women do. I mean,
some women do. Yeah,
don't rule everyone out. But I think that for a lot of women, the attitude of some of the male actors in it, which is very kind of, it is quite, well, either, I'm going to use this word advisedly, hammy.
Yeah, okay.
In terms of like, I'm going to come in and show you who's boss, and everyone's like, no thanks. There are some female pornographers who are making more female-friendly porn.
I know what you mean. A lot of porn is.
I'm a nice man. Yeah.
It's very much that kind of theme.
Someone blazing in, and the women think he's amazing, and actually think, God, they're really good looking. They would not look twice at you.
But no, I don't think it is all like that because there's loads of porn where the woman is.
Yeah, and that's daft and all, isn't it?
Well,
all daft.
What do you want them? You want someone to go, I really love you. I love you too. Oh, let's go up and have sex, and they sort of go.
No, but don't just come in and be an idiot about it.
Sex and
the blokes are,
sex. Oh, this sexy. I love you so. You don't want to watch a porno where people are going, "Oh, I love you so much." I love you.
That's not what I said at all.
I
just don't want some great big thumb with muscles blazing in apparently to fix my radiator and then show me who's boss.
That's a very 1970s.
I know, but some of it is.
They're pizza delivery guys now. They're Uber guys now. They're Uber guys and Deliveroo. Deliver you. Don't know what that means.
Deliver ooh.
Ooh. Good evening, Stewie.
You on?
You're on. I'm on. Guys. I'm always on. You're on now, and not for much longer. Go on.
Thank you. Sorry.
You're welcome.
You was talking about porn.
Yeah.
Mate, I think it's great. Sorry.
That's, okay, well, you say sorry, but, jeez. Okay, let's wait for that delay to build up. Why, the idiots.
How do we know that was coming, though?
I mean, you just knew. Here's the thing, Stewie. You're not on air at the moment. You will be again very, very briefly, so I can pull down your pants and humiliate you. But we've got a 7-second delay, man. So if you phone up just to swear, or it doesn't get broadcast, right, and you get a little triangle by your name that says swearer, we all right? And also, if you can't, you didn't last 30 seconds in that conversation, Stuart.
Dude.
You didn't last 30 seconds in that conversation. Without dropping an F-bomb. I bet you couldn't even last 20 seconds. I bet you couldn't last 20 seconds in a sexual situation without shooting your load.
You are probably right. You were probably right.
No, I am right. You're an idiot. And I don't want idiots like you calling my radio show. Go away.
Mate.
Go away. You're an idiot. I don't like you.
That. Come on. Don't be like that.
Nah, you're an idiot, Stuart. You're not bothered. Can't be bothered with you, mate. You don't even know how to use a phone call. You don't even know how to use the English language. Tell you what, I'm not going to cut you off. You can stay there until you realise that you won't be coming back on air. But you won't be coming back on air. Let's go to a nice caller. Good evening, Sadiq. Can you put a warning by his name, please? Thank you very much. Good evening, Sadiq. Always a pleasure to talk to you, my friend. What have you got for us?
Basically, I'm going to an Indian wedding on Friday. I am.
Are you? Are you getting married?
No, I'm going to a cousin's wedding.
Okay. What, are you getting married? No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking.
And guess what's coming out? Aquaman's coming out, the film.
It looks boring.
Why?
Because all of those, not Marvel, DC, all of those DC, is it DC? Marvel, DC, the Aquaman, DC, Superman, DC. All of those DC films are dull. I had a revelation at the weekend, Sadiq. I watched a movie, right? And I'm watching it and I'm laughing. I'm laughing out loud, and it's a superhero movie, and it's a DC superhero movie, and I'm laughing out loud. And I'm thinking, the people that wrote this should write the rest of the Superman movies, the rest of the Batman movies, should write Teen Titans. Shut up! Shut up, boy! Teen Titans go to the movies. Have you seen that? That is funny, man. It's DC. It's a cartoon. It's like Robin and his sidekicks. They want to make a movie, but all the adult superheroes have got all the movies. Stan Lee is in it. Stan Lee's in it in a DC movie. Yes, he's in a DC movie. It is fun. They make jokes about the Green Lantern. It is funny. The people that did Teen Titans Go to the Movies should do all of the DC movies from now on.
How about Harry Potter? Do you like the films of Harry Potter?
You've asked me this already!
Oh.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do. Get a pen and paper. Get a pen and paper, and every time you ask me a question, write down the answer.
How about Meg? Have you seen the film Meg?
I don't like films about giant sharks from prehistoric times.
How about Jaws?
I like Jaws because that's a modern day shark.
Well, why is that? I don't get what's the Meg about? Why is it no such thing as called a megalodon? Is it no such thing? Is it?
Yeah, of course there was.
But I thought it lies because they say it's about dinosaurs made out of dinosaurs and all that.
Well, okay. Have you seen the Meg?
No, my mum's seen it.
And does she like it?
She's saying not real. It's not realistic. It looks fake.
Well, it's not realistic. It's an extinct dinosaur fish shark. It's not been around for millions of years. Oh, she's talking about Jason Statham again. You know, I don't think I've ever seen a Jason Statham film.
But how about this? There's another film called Sharknado. That doesn't make sense, does it? It flies, sharks fly.
It's a shark in a tornado, isn't it? Sharknado.
Very pointy.
That's so stupid.
I think it's supposed to be like a sort of comedy film, isn't it? Sharknado.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Sharknado, a film about a shark caught in a tornado, is not a comedy film.
No, my mum says it's not funny anyway.
Well, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be funny, but it's not a serious documentary.
How about people saying that Mr. Bean is racist? Did you know that it was on YouTube about wearing a burqa? He's saying that he's racist.
Does he wear a burqa? Well, I don't think it's racist. Is clothing racist? That's an interesting phone-in.
He's saying that people who wear a burqa, Boris Johnson saying that is racist. He's saying that. I don't know why.
Now, Boris Johnson Boris Johnson is a racist.
But why did he take the mick out Muslim? That's what I don't get. Why? Because
he's a self-serving a-hole and he's a nasty piece of work. And he knew that it would get the right people that would support him excited.
How could you now talk about religion on your radio show, about Islam or anything like that? You never talk about it.
We're talking about it now. And guess what? It's boring.
You're talking about pornography. That's rude. You shouldn't talk about that kind of thing. It's not good.
We're talking about what?
About rude films and that. It's not good to talk about.
Well, it's more interesting than religion. It's more interesting. Pornography is more interesting than Christianity and Islam.
Well, why do you talk about real stuff? Why don't you talk about education, educate people?
Well, go on then, talk about... Here's the thing, people... Sadiq, where's this tood come from, man? People can talk about anything. We talk about education, we talk about life, we talk about art, and we've just spent 4 minutes... We just spent 4 minutes talking about pornos!
No, I mean, you were talking about the other guy, you couldn't talk about it as well in the first place.
Whatever.
What are you doing this weekend, then? What are you doing this weekend?
The weekend coming up, or the weekend just gone?
What's coming up?
I've got, doing a show on Saturday night, and then Sunday night I'm going to go and see Beverly Craven live in concert.
But you're not going and see any good films at the cinema then? Nothing good?
Yeah, on Saturday night I'm going to see a great film called Fright Night at the Rabbit Hole Picture Show, hosted by me and Catherine Boyle.
Me.
I want to watch it, but I can't. I live in Leicester.
Yep. Yeah.
Can you get me a copy of it after you've seen it?
Not a chance, mate. Not a chance.
Why?
How old are you?
25.
Okay. This isn't 18, so you have to be 18 to watch it.
But is it a horror film or is it a comedy?
Both.
Hello?
Both.
Am I invisible?
Huh? Both.
I like Catherine.
I like
it. Is it scary?
I've never seen it. Catherine has seen it. Catherine is the one that's chosen this movie, and boy, oh boy, those tickets really are flying off the shelves.
Which cinema is it in? Is it in Showcase or which cinema is it in?
It's in. It's not in a cinema. We're showing it in a comedy club.
Oh, how much is the tickets? I want to go and see it.
Okay, thanks for your call, Sadiq. Nice to talk to you. Yeah. Yes, Pablo.
How do?
If you phone up to talk about wrestling, I'm only interested if there's an offer.
I warned John about that. I told him there wouldn't be much truck with the old wrestling talk, so I'll leave that be.
Okay.
It was just say thank you for retweeting my tweet earlier in regards to my radio thing tomorrow.
Okay.
It was just to kind of pick your brains as a radio professional that you are.
Yes.
I know it's more talk radio, but you have done musical radio in the past, and I've just hit a bit of a issue because my main focus of the show I'm doing is it's Pablo's Vault of Horror, so it's kind of horror themed, but with music associated with the horror genre.
Right.
And tomorrow will be my fourth training session before I get a 2-hour slot.
Training? Well, 4 training sessions to do radio?
Well, it's like a community thing. I think it's just basically to make sure that I don't get on there and start swearing my head off or something like that.
Okay.
But
I'll be on there. This effing training I've had.
Yeah, well, I've done 4 so far, just hour slots. Well, no, 3 so far, 4 tomorrow. Yes. But I'm really plumbing the depths of horror-based music.
Right, yeah.
So I think if I actually get my show, I'm just going to have to go back over some of the old ones. It was just whether you had any thoughts or whether any of the listeners had any ideas of particular horror-themed music that you're familiar with. Tricky, isn't it? It's
Pablo, did you not think this through before you selected your theme?
Well, no, I wanted to do horror. And,
or have you? I've got this great new app on my phone. It's called Google. And it's great. It lets you ask any question, and it comes up pretty much nearly every time with a decent answer. Download it. I think it's free, actually.
Yeah, well, no, I've delved that, and I've gone full bore into my Spotify's and whatnot. But Yeah, no, it is. It's just the issue is that most horror music is generally themed, so it's generally like acoustic type, not acoustic. What do you call it? Non-singing.
Okay, well, Monster Mash, obviously.
Yes, Thingy Pickett, yeah.
Yeah, Thingy Pickett, Wilson Pickett. Wilson Pickett, It'll Never Heal.
The Misfits also did a very good cover version of that.
Okay, we'll go. To pick some spooky songs. Pick Amityville 2, the theme by Lovebug Starsky. We played that the other night.
Oh yes, and I found there's actually a wealth of type ones from the 50s.
Well, then you sorted them, man, for crying out loud! Bore your listeners with that, not mine! I've got enough stuff to bore them with. Got Alistair coming up. 034. We lost Sandra. We had a lady calling in there, and she must have got scared. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone. I'm only joking, Pablo. You know I'm only joking. I wish you the best of luck. Anyone that wants to get into this business, it's the best business in the world. And I wish you the best of luck. I'm more than happy to retweet that, of course. I'm going to retweet everything, guys. Calm down. Alistair, stay there. You'll be up after the news at midnight. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. This is the Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee and Catherine Boyle. Weeknights from 10 on Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Get an earful of unusual nocturnal emissions with radio's Lord of Misrule, Iain Lee. No relation, thank God.
Unfiltered Night Talk with the original king of unconventional conversation.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
0344 499 1000. It's not been bad for a Monday night. Still a bit bunged up. I'm terribly ill at the weekend, but a bit bunged up, I'm bunged up. Fine, I can live with that. Big old bushy beard. The beard's bushier than it's ever been. I'm loving that. Loving life on the farm. Having a great time there. Great time with the boys at the weekend. Went and saw Goosebumps 2. That's a movie. Goosebumps 2. What a film. I want to see that, man. Jack Black's just the best, isn't he? He's only in it for a bit, but he's the best. Jack, if you had to say who was the best, I would say Jack Black. That guy's great. And then took the boys home today and then came to work and had a little cry. I don't know. Still coming off these pills. Week 2, is it 2 weeks I've done now, coming off these pills, and the physical, the electric shocks have gone for now. I cut my dose in half and I'm going to go to 0 in a couple of weeks. And the electric shocks are gone, that's fine. I get about an hour in the afternoon of feeling physically sick, but that's okay. That's getting easier. But there is this overarching senseness of worthlessness and pointlessness to existence, man. Pointlessness to existence, and inadequacy. Pointlessness and inadequacy. That's what it is. And I had a good cry this evening when I got into work, going, I don't know if the boys love me. I don't know. I don't know if I'm doing a good enough job. And spent a lot of this afternoon going, what is the point in any of this? That's the point of this thing. Now, here's the thing: is that because I've cut the drugs down a bit, and so I'm wobbling? I'm having a chemical wobble, or is that why I was taking the pills? Is that why I'm taking the pills to combat this feeling of pointlessness and worthlessness? We just don't know at the moment. We just don't know. All I know is that I finished reading that Robin Williams biography. Oh man, what a book! What a brilliantly written book, and what a sad ending. So I thought that he killed himself because, well, there were several reasons. One, he was supposedly facing bankruptcy because he'd had 2 divorces. Okay. One, that he killed himself because he had Parkinson's. One, that he killed himself just because he was depressed. And the other one I'd heard was that he killed himself because he'd had a drug or alcohol relapse and he couldn't cope with that. Well, it turns out that most of those are untrue. One of those is there is a hint of it in there. He didn't have Parkinson's. He had a disease, and I'm going to get the name of the condition wrong. Lewy body dementia, LBD, that sounds about right. Lewy body dementia, I think it was. And they didn't diagnose it until, talking about the Robin Williams thing, they didn't diagnose it until after he died, and they did an autopsy and they examined his brain, and there's calcium deposits in the brain. So they thought he had Parkinson's, and he had depression that was kind of linked. Depression, and you go, oh, he's depressed, he's got Parkinson's. But this Lewy body... Sorry? Catherine?
Thanks, mate.
What's wrong? Huh?
Twitter, I thought I could trust you. What a stupid idiot.
No. Here's the thing, right? You cannot trust me with a computer. Just like I can't trust you with my computer now. We are locked in to a
war of attrition.
A holy war, where if anyone leaves a computer nearby and it's unlocked, then, Twitter's going to be hacked.
I'm sad for us. I'm sad it's come to this.
And that tweet, that tweet is a direct response to the tweet that you did from my account the other day.
Which was a response to the one you keep doing on mine.
Okay, well, there you go. You got it. You've been burnt.
Sad, isn't it?
You are sad. Yeah, you are. You're correct there. You are very, very sad. So this Lewy body dementia, and I tweeted about it, and loads of people said, oh, actually, I knew that's why he killed himself. I'd missed that bit of the story. And loads of people, including my friend Natasha Desborough, I used to work with at XFM, and who would kind of tweet occasionally. Last time I saw her was at the Beach Boys concert last year. She was there with her boy. And her dad, I used to do an XFM show, and occasionally we'd sit in on each other's shows. Yes, 20 years ago, man. Jeez, 19 years ago. Her dad had it. And so what it is it has symptoms of Parkinson's. Sorry, I'm really snotty. It has symptoms of Parkinson's. It also causes huge emotional swings and depression. So you're not depressed that you've got it necessarily. It's part of the thing is it causes depression. It causes like the connections in the brain to go, so you couldn't do quick wordplay because you just couldn't connect the words together to do it, which is something obviously Robin Williams was a master at. Physically, it slows you down. You get the tremors. You can kind of not like freeze as in rock solid, but you'll just sort of sit there in a pose and stare off into the middle distance for like an hour, and sort of be there, and then sort of snap out of it and be like, what? For an hour. And your spatial awareness completely goes. There's a story about his wife seeing him in the bathroom, and he had a massive cut on his eye. And she said, well, what did you do? Well, I misjudged the sink, And
you said also his perception.
Yeah, perception goes. So you could kind of fantasize. You hallucinate a lot, visual and auditory hallucinations. To someone who's suffered them, they're the worst, man. The visual ones you can kind of go, I don't think that's real. The auditory ones you go, but those are real because I can hear it. So he would hallucinate. One of the common symptoms is your brain creates these fantasy scenarios about other people that you buy into. So there's a example in this book is like 3:00 in the morning. He's awake going, I've got to go and see my mate Steve. And his wife's going, why? Because he's in really big trouble. I think he's dying. And she's going, what are you talking about? He goes, no, I've really got to... It took him hours for her to persuade him that Steve was fine and that nothing had happened. And so he'd get into these fantasies. And for whatever reason, and partly because his legs were twitching at night, him and his wife, and they'd only been married like 2 or 3 years, his third wife, were sleeping in separate rooms. And the ending is so sad. And so he goes into his wife's bedroom and gets the iPad and says, can I use the iPad? I guess I want to do something and I'll see you tomorrow. And he goes to bed in his room. She gets up in the morning. He's not up. And she goes, at last he's got a good night's sleep. And some friends come over and he goes, Robin's not up. He's sleeping. I'm just going to pop out. I'll be back in a bit. And his friends at 11:45 go, this is weird. And they go in and he's hanged himself, God. He's hanged himself. And there was nothing on his phone or his iPad or his laptop that implied he was looking at, how to suicide websites or anything like that. There's no note. There was nothing. I'm going to go into details. This is really horrific, but I just think it kind of... this might be triggering. In fact, no, I'm not going to go into it. It goes into... I'm not going to go into it because you don't need to know it. But that he'd done things to make it as comfortable as possible. And he tried to slit his wrists and stuff like that. And you just think, poor bloke. Now, partly, and of course, he didn't leave a note, so no one knows exactly why. Now, part of it is that he couldn't do comedy anymore because he couldn't do that quick thing, which is what he was famous for, just riffing. He couldn't do those connections, so he couldn't do comedy anymore, and that was his skill. You know, that was what made him unique, and so that would have just pushed him over the edge. There's also a theory that he wouldn't have known what he was doing, or that it was him that was doing it, or you know, he could have bought into this whole. He could have, in that moment, that however long it took, created this fantasy world where him, you know, hanging himself was the right thing to do and would actually save him, or, you know, he could have been in a fantasy world where that made logical sense. And it's just the saddest thing. And then it goes on, the book goes on, is his new wife, and then there's disputes between the kids and the wife and money and all of that kind of crap that goes on. But it was so sad. It's just so sad. I'm not a huge Robin Williams fan. I used to like Mork and Mindy when I was a kid. And there's a couple of films. I used to find him a bit manic, too manic sometimes. Yeah, I like the mania. I remember him being on Wogan and watching him as a kid on Wogan and going, whoa! Just non-stop. I like Popeye. I think Popeye's a great film. I went to the pictures to see it, and it was a huge flop, and it gets terrible reviews. I watched it again a few years ago. I think Popeye's a great film. Soundtrack written by Harry Nilsson, and him doing, you know, his first big motion picture, and you can't understand a word he said. It's doing all that. I think it's a great film. And there are, you know, Dead Poets Society I like. Fisher King is a great movie. I watched that recently for the first time. And there are a load of turkeys. I've never seen Mrs. Doubtfire, but that grossed $120 million.
My kids love that film.
Didn't like Jamal, you know, but whatever. It's just a sad story of. He was a great stand-up, you know, and a great comic brain. And,
he's a huge talent. I don't think anyone would dispute that.
It's a great. But I'll lend you the book. It's because up until the last 3 chapters, it's joyous. And his battles with cocaine and booze and all of that is. It's great. And then it talks about a few sort of indie films he made towards the end, and that I've put on my little list to check out, these obscure little things. Anyway, it was that, and I was just reminded of something else. We're talking about Robin Williams, and I can't think. Anyway, it's a great book, and it's well worth reading, and it's sad, and I'd never heard of this condition before. And it's funny, I tweeted it. Not funny, I tweeted it, and a load of people went, yeah, no, my dad had that. Oh, yeah, my husband had that. And it turns out, you know, it's not a particularly well-known kind of thing, really. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Good evening, Alistair.
Evening, Kath. How's it going?
Alistair. Go on, what do you want?
I've got 3 or 4 things tonight.
OK, well, let's see how we get on.
First is a pop question for you on your specialist subject, Ian.
Yes, OK. Well, this is going to be embarrassing because I'm going to know it straight away, yes.
I think you will.
Of course I will.
OK, who was a session musician on the single Daydream Believer who had a very successful solo career?
Well, that was it could be any number of people. It could have been, I'm guessing, Glenn Campbell, because Glenn Campbell played on loads of records.
Correct.
It could have been Neil Young. It could have been Stephen Stills. Those guys played on their records. Could have been anybody.
No, Daydream Believer.
Yeah, could have been anybody.
What, they all played on that single?
Stephen Stills might have played on it. Neil Young didn't. Neil Young played on As We Go Along. But anyway, yes, it was Glenn Campbell. Of course it was. Thank you. Yep, bless you.
Kath, I was going to ask you...
who played...
You mentioned that you'd been to see a Fleetwood Mac tribute band.
Yeah, Fleetwood Mac.
I noticed today that they're actually... the Fleetwood Mac band is touring next year, but without Lindsay Buckingham.
The Fleetwood Mac band?
Yeah. And I wondered if you were... would you go and see them or not? Because
I can't afford it.
Do you know where they're playing?
Go on.
Wembley Stadium. No, thank you. I'm not seeing the Mac without Buckingham. I'm not going to see the Mac in any carnation at Wembley Stadium. I'm certainly not going to see them with the bloke from Crowded House at Wembley
I love
Stadium.
him, but...
No. I would...
I don't think I could afford it, so it's not a question.
I would go and see them this time if Buckingham was, because Christine McVie's in it, and I regretted it last time I didn't go. If they were playing at the O2, you and me, we would be there. We would be there. If Buckingham was playing, you and me, we'd be at the O2. But Buckingham is not playing... and they're playing at Wembley Stadium. I think I'll pass. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, guys.
I wouldn't go because of the price, same as Kath. I would like to see them anyway, but I wouldn't go for the price. And the final thing is, I managed to see that documentary you mentioned a couple of weeks ago, Ian.
Yeah.
Called 3 Identical Strangers.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Yep.
Absolutely harrowing.
Isn't it?
Towards the end. I mean, I cannot believe... I can actually understand it because I did psychology at university, and I did history of psychology, and I learnt about all the horrendous things.
I did the psychology of history.
That went on. So yeah, I mean, but that I couldn't believe they would actually do that to kids. That
And so relatively recent in our history, and they're treating children like that. And not only children, but an experiment with Jewish children. Anyone?
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. And what I'm thinking is that probably that's how that's come out, but I'm sure that other things went on as well.
Mate, they were all, listen, you read any of those experiments, man, those guys were nuts in the 40s, 50s and 60s. A lot of them were and this guy wasn't from the thing, but a lot of them were like ex-Nazis or people influenced by the Nazis going, well, yeah, you know, what the Nazis did was wrong, but actually some of the experiments they carried out were really, really interesting. And actually, they probably were interesting, but they're also morally and ethically completely doolally. You can't do that stuff.
There's also a feeling of, well, who cares about these kids anyway? Their parents are washed up, you know.
Yeah.
What's going to happen to them without us?
It's some movie. Alistair, thank you very much indeed. 0344 499 1000. This is Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash. On Talk Radio.
0344 499 1000. Oh, I've got to email Doug Pound. Doug Pound's going to come on the show, who's brilliant, if you don't know him. I've got to email him. There's a thing in the mail today about Fleetwood Mac. Let's get past all that boring bit. Now, the British-American group, which started out as a blues band playing in a London pub, has finally imploded. What do you mean finally imploded? They're always imploding.
That's partly their thing.
This is not new. It's like the Graham Nash-David Crosby feud. They've been doing it for years. They're at the stage, though, where people will die or they'll sort it out. This always happens. Imploded as one of its key members is suing the others for sacking him. Lindsey Buckingham, singer-songwriter and lead guitarist on and off since 1975, is seeking millions of dollars in compo from bandmates Mick Fleetwood, Stevie Nicks, Christine McVie and John McVie. The mercurial musician, I don't know what mercurial means.
It means quick to anger.
Okay. Who wrote and sang the 1977 mega hit, You Can Go Your Own Way, has made it clear he is not happy to go his own way.
Oh.
In a 28-page lawsuit filed in Los Angeles Superior Court in a recent interview, Buckingham has laid bare the astonishing extent to which he has fallen out with his former bandmates, particularly Stevie Nicks, his ex-lover. He tried to kill her once at a band meeting. He tried to kill her. He throttled her. This was, again, a tour that he refused to do in the 80s to support the album Dreams, and he tried to kill Stevie Nicks in the meeting. So, you know. The case reveals how lucratively popular band remains. Tickets to see them last Saturday in St. Louis cost up to $900. According to Buckingham's lawsuit, each of the band's 5 members was to earn around $13 million from playing 60 shows over 2 years. He accuses the former band members of breaching their fiduciary duty, breach of oral contract, and international interference with prospective economic advantage. Let's break that down. The guitarist is demanding his share of the touring company because he still wants to perform. Other Fleetwood Mac members say he was sacked because he wouldn't fit in with their touring plans and they met a brick wall in negotiations. Buckingham, 69, admits he initially requested the tour to be delayed 3 months so he could concentrate on his solo album. However, he insists he later relented and agreed to the original timing. This is one of the greatest crimes in musical history. Lindsey Buckingham wrote some of the best songs for Fleetwood Mac ever, some of the best songs ever. And he made other band members' songs incredible. What's the Christine McVie one? Not Go Your Own Way. It sounds like Go Your Own Way.
You Make Loving Fun?
No. Don't Stop Thinking About Tomorrow. He produced that, and he took half the lead vocals, made it into a masterpiece, right? His solo
stuff is a bit...
His solo... No, it's not a bit. It's awful. It's unlistenable. Apart from a Holiday Road. The rest of it is awful, lousy.
I know. I remember being given one of his albums once and thinking, "Oh well, this must be good because he's brilliant." Oh, hang on, he's good with other people. Maybe he needs to be angry.
He asked for the tour to be delayed for 3 months. However, he insists he later relented and agreed to the original timing. 2 days after Fleetwood Mac performed at a charity do in New York in January, he said he was told the tour was off. But 3 days later, he discovered the band was going without him.
Oh. Oh, they did the old slipperoo. Like, there is no party.
Maybe he won't notice. What are these posters for Fleetwood Mac? I'm in Fleetwood Mac. 0344 499 1000. His bandmates had secretly and unceremoniously moved on without him, even hiring 2 musicians to sing and play in his place. His lawsuit complains. After 43 years of camaraderie and friendship, not a single member of the band called Buckingham to break the news to him. It goes. Then there's a little bit of history. Okay. Fleetwood Mac says it strongly disputes Buckingham's claims. In a statement last week, a spokesman said Fleetwood Mac looks forward to their day in court. He pointed the finger of blame clearly at Stevie Nicks.
Of course he did.
In an interview with Rolling Stone magazine, published just a day after the suit was filed. He recalled Fleetwood Mac's manager, Irving Azoff, phoning him 2 nights after his final appearance with the band in January to say, Stevie never wants to be on stage with you again. Again. According to Buckingham, Azoff told him that Nicks was upset by his angry response to the decision to play a recording of the hit song Rhiannon, which she wrote while they took to the stage. She also accused him of smirking.
Oh, no.
As she made a slightly long-winded thank you speech. Buckingham insisted it was a standing joke that Stevie, when she talks, goes on a long time. He says Azoff told him Stevie Nicks is 70 years old, guys. What the hell?
God, if she didn't ramble before.
Had given the rest of the band an ultimatum. Either you go or she's going to go. He hasn't spoken to any of the other band members since January and says they're freezing him out is all the more remarkable given that John McVie lives just 200 yards from him in Los Angeles. He says they're freezing him out is all the more remarkable given that John McVie lives just 200 yards from him.
Imagine the frosty looks on bin day.
Nicks publicly insists Buckingham was ousted because he wanted to put off their tour for more than a year. However, she admitted her relationship with him has always been volatile, adding...
We know this, don't we?
This is sad, but I want the next 10 years of my life to be fun and happy.
I don't really know what she sounds like.
Like that?
This is sad. I want the next 10 years of my life to be fun and happy.
You can't really understand her, can you?
No. Love her, though.
Fleetwood Mac... Blah, 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 blah.
She's no business being alive, really, has she? When she carried on. Amazing.
The full extent of Buckingham's ugly treatment of Nicks was detailed in the biography of her.
Yes.
Old Dust Woman.
Read Storms.
Storms is the book, isn't it? Storms is a great... Carol Ann Davis? Is that one of...
Harris.
Carol Ann Harris. We should see if we can get her on.
I've tried.
No dice.
She added me on Facebook and then never responded.
No
I should try again.
Dice. Let's get her on. Let's get the inside info on him. 0344 499 1000 says this thing here. Revealed 10 psychological tricks that will get you anything you want.
Yes.
From making kids eat vegetables to getting colleagues to agree with you. I'll be honest, neither of those things are on my top 10 list of things I want. My kids eat vegetables all the time. They love their vegetables.
Yeah. One of my kids likes them more than the other, but it's not a massive thing.
If you feel like you're fighting a losing battle to keep your kids in check or can't seem to gain the influence you want in the workplace, there are some easy psychological tricks that could instantly boost your credibility. Bored Panda has shared a selection of the easiest psychological hacks. Why would you say hacks?
Tips. What's wrong with tips?
That will help you get the best out of any situation in a matter of minutes, based on a Reddit post which has resurfaced online. Okay, here we go. So the broccoli trick. If you want your kids to eat broccoli, I serve them broccoli. Do you want broccoli? Yeah? All right. They'll eat it. They like broccoli. They won't eat Brussels. The youngest likes Brussels. Me and the youngest are the only ones in that family that like Brussels sprouts. They'll eat vegetables. If you want your kids to eat broccoli, ask them if they want 2 broccoli stalks or 5, instead of just asking them if they want broccoli. This way, you've already made the choice for them, but they feel like they're getting a great deal by choosing the amount of broccoli they want. Well, no, because having the food on the plate is not the issue. It's getting it in the mouth. And I don't do that thing I never do that thing. I feel like I ought to because it's a trick that was done when I was a kid. But also, I know it's really dangerous. So I never do it. That you don't get any dessert unless you finish that. I would never make my kids finish a meal that they clearly don't want to finish. I will suggest that they try something they haven't tried. If they're going, I don't like the look of it, well, just try it.
Here's my rule, and it's a loose one, because
Yeah.
I don't, I've been brought up in a family where food was sometimes a thing.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more plate than food.
Yeah.
Have a go.
Yeah.
That's
have
all
a
I
go.
want.
Have a go. And, have a go.
But if they clearly don't like it, I'm not going to make them eat it.
No. And and my boys are great, though. They'll try everything, because my mother-in-law is Greek, so they've been to Greece a lot, and you get served some weird-looking stuff over there. Looks weird. But because they've been seeing it since they were a baby, they'll have a go. And if they've not touched something that I suspect they will actually like, I say, well, just why don't you just try a tiny little bit? But I'm not going to make them...
No.
Never going to make them no dessert for you guys.
When my mum was a kid, there was the rule you don't get down from the table till the plate's
Yeah,
clean,
I
right?
remember
And this
all
is
that.
because of wartime parents for whom food was an absolute luxury, right?
Yeah.
So it's the reason why if you go to Marks and Spencer's on pension day, even when pensioners are hard up, there's a massive queue because they put, food is like the absolute important thing to them. So, and I go and stay with my granddad and he'd put loads of butter on my toast and I'd say, Granddad, you put too much on. That's best butter, that. He was treating me. Yeah. Food was a kind of currency.
You can never have too much butter on toast.
Oh, my God, it was just too much. But, my mum used to hide her food. I don't want my kids doing that. I don't want my kids, having a mouthful and running to the toilet. I mean, that's just stirring up all kinds of problems, especially for little girls. So anyway, I've always done have a try. My youngest has got this thing where if it's something new, she immediately works herself up into not liking it.
Right, yeah.
But as soon as I get her to have a mouthful, she'll like
it's
it.
It's a fine old line with kids. We ordered Domino's on Saturday because there were 3 nights, and I cooked on the Sunday. It went a bit wrong, but anyway. And they said, "Can we get a takeaway one night?" I said, "Yeah, well, let's get Domino's." They fancied the Domino's. So my eldest came up with a brilliant idea. He called it a pizza sandwich because we had 2 different pizzas. We had pepperoni and we had ham and sweet corn. And so he said, "I'm going to invent a pizza sandwich." And he got 1 bit of pizza and put another bit on top of it and was just eating it like that. I went, "That is my boy! That is it!"
Genius.
It was actually genius. Okay, here's another...
But I think that thing that is quite a good tip with other things, that how many are you going to do?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm trying to get my girls to wear something smart, for example, I'll say, right, are we wearing this one or this one? And both are choices that I approve.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but that's... If you're a parent and you need to be told that, then you should have your parent licence taken off you. 03444991000. Here's another life hack. The $1 auction... By the way, people that say auction, I'm going to kill you. Gather a group of friends together and hold... This is in the Daily Mail. And hold up $1 for auction. Tell them whoever gets the high bid wins the $1. But whoever gets the second and third highest bid will still have to honour their bid.
What?
Then sit back and watch as the bid goes from pennies to $4, even $5 or more. How quickly your friends will forget the value of $1. Meanwhile, watch the second and third highest bidder as the price gets close to $1 and then goes over, and they'd rather be out 10 cents versus 99 cents. What the hell? Can someone explain that? They've just copied and pasted this. It doesn't make any sense.
Who is this person's friend?
OK, here we go. The talk and pile. If you want your friend to carry something, for example, if you have just bought some books from the bookstore, come on, man! Just keep talking to them while handing them the bag. Most people automatically take the bag without thinking. However, some people will become confused, and only a very rare few will call you out on it. This is basically a guide to treat people like SH1T.
Yeah, who are these people's friends? Because they need to be advised that they're being manipulated.
This is right, and this is the one that proves that we've just wasted our time. The stalker detector. These are life hacks. Ever get the feeling someone is watching you, but you're not sure? Try yawning and then glancing at your suspected stalker. If they yawn, then you know they've been watching you, since yawning is contagious. This has been lifted from Reddit and posted on the Daily Mail website and now being broadcast on the most popular late-night phone-in show in the UK. And basically, it's hokum, pokum, jokum. It's gubbins.
If you're wondering if the Daily Mail is copying and pasting your work, write some nonsense on Reddit and give it a couple of days.
The conversation conditioner, to have a little fun with words. When having a conversation with someone, pick a word they say, and then each time they say the word, or words close to it, smile, nod, or give some type of positive affirmation.
Yes.
And watch them say the word all the time. Jesus, this is awful. I'm so sorry, dear listener. I don't read the stories before I do them. The psychic parent. Want to make your kids think you're psychic? Catch them in the midst of doing bad, then look away for a few seconds. Whilst looking away or with your back to them, call them on it. They'll be amazed at how you knew. Come on! Parents do that all the time. They catch a glimpse of someone doing something and they go, I know what you're doing, and I want you to stop it now. We do that all the time. That's what being a parent is. These are rubbish. The Pathfinder. In crowded areas, look in the direction in which you intend to go and watch the walkway just open up.
No, doesn't happen. People walk into me.
In busy areas and crowded streets, people tend to watch other people's eyes to see which direction they'll go so they can go, no, they don't. They're looking down at their phone.
Also, you've noticed with me that people move out of the way for you and into me, don't they? Ian?
Huh? So I'm just trying to work this one. There's a cheat, and I see what it is. Right, okay. Okay, I'm going to do something. Let's see if this works, okay. And we need to make sure I've got this right. Okay, so we're going to play a game, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? We're going to play rock, paper, scissors, okay?
Right.
And I'm going to win.
Okay.
Okay? Right, according to this. Okay, so we're going to go rock, paper, scissors, go, okay? Right.
Yep.
Okay, right. Okay. So, Catherine, how old are you?
I'm 41.
Rock, paper, do it! Rock, paper, scissors, go! Didn't work.
I won. So
become a champion at rock, paper, scissors by asking someone a question right before starting the game. If you ask, then immediately start into rock, paper, scissors chant. They almost always defensively throw scissors. This is utter...
I was going to throw scissors.
Oh, well,
but then you sidetracked me with a question.
The question was to do that.
You saw me do it.
Oh, here we go. This is a good one. Okay. Build attraction. When first meeting someone, if you do go for a handshake, then make sure your hand is warm.
Dirty get.
It makes you seem much more inviting than a cold hand. Okay, well, I'll put down my pants. Confrontation. This is good. If you think someone is going to go off on you in a meeting, sit right next to them. It's extremely awkward talking negatively about someone and being aggressive when they're so close. No one wants to sit right next to the person they just bad-mouth, so they'll take it easy on you. No, I could be rude about someone next to me in a meeting.
Yeah, you can.
Not being funny, but she's a dick, and I want her fired. And you disgust me.
He says every time.
You disgust me. She disgusts me, and if she doesn't go, I'm going.
Thankfully, people like me more than they like him.
And that's how Lindsay Buckingham left left Fleetwood Mac. That's exactly how it happened. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Did we play the trail? Play the trail and take this call from Nigel.
Unmissable late night radio with the original king of unconventional conversation.
Make contact with Iain. The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee
on Talk Radio.
0344 499 1000. Go on.
No, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, then we'll see what happens. Let's go to Nigel.
Ian.
Nigel!
What's up?
What's up?
Can you hear me properly?
I can, although it sounds like you've shrunk. Have you shrunk?
I'll try the other ear. Is that better?
Yeah, that's bigger.
That's better.
I've just remembered that one of my favourite films is coming out on DVD, and I'll tell you about it in a minute.
Is it The Big Id Man?
Have you got a cold?
Yes, I have got a cold.
So have I a bit.
You're a bit nasally.
Oh.
I run up to tell Iain.
Yes.
I'm feeling sad.
Uh-oh.
Iain, I wrote it was my mum's birthday on Monday, just turned.
Oh, yeah.
My mum's birthday, the 22nd of October.
That's always a big one. It's always a big one.
Pardon?
The first birthday, the first couple of birthdays after someone passes are always a big one.
Yeah, it's the first birthday I've been without her.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
But I still bought a card on Sunday for Monday. I bought a card and some presents, some flowers to go in the garden or indoor, some potted plants and roses, yellow and red roses.
Yeah.
Lovely. And I bought a calendar with flowers on to keep for myself, but to remember her by as well. And a lovely card as well. And I made a couple of videos last night on the date of her birthday to put on YouTube. Singing a couple of songs in the front room.
Well, that's lovely.
So I've done quite. I've celebrated her loss. In a different way. But I really do miss her. I really do miss her. Honestly, I know
you do.
It sounds a bit silly because I shouldn't be living with my mum at my age. But
that doesn't sound silly at all. It sounds like a lovely situation.
Yeah. And I get these. She appears in my head. I see her. When I shut my eyes, I see her in my head.
Well, then that means that she's always with you.
Yes.
Which is a nice thing.
Always on the bright side of life.
How did you miss out the word look?
I did I?
Yeah, how could you forget the word look?
Yeah, well, I can't hear properly. Sorry about that.
How could you forget the word looking? Always look on the bright side of life. You just went always on the bright...
I did sing that, didn't I?
You didn't sing the word look, Nigel.
Oh, anyway...
do it again.
You wanted a lively song for me to do.
Yes, yeah, not Carrick Fergus, for crying out loud.
No. I did that for Mum because I did that for my video. Oh, have you got time to look at a video on my Facebook?
No.
No. Anyway, I coloured my hair. I've got my hair changed, my colour.
Oh.
So it's blonde instead of grey now.
Oh, maybe I have got time to look at a video. Where is this?
Look much better on my Nigel Reader Facebook.
Okay.
You have to scroll down. There's one me in an army suit outside in Maidstone. I wear an army suit now.
Well, where is
it? Battle dress thing.
I'm seeing some topless shots. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. That's Noah Cyrus, a young girl in a bra.
There's one with me indoors with me. You can see me hair.
Why am I seeing pictures of you naked?
Oh.
What? Well, yeah. Why am I seeing that?
I don't know which ones you mean.
The ones of you without any clothes on.
What with weights? Oh yeah, with weights. I think it was. Yeah, that's when I do my weights. Yeah.
This is like...
You can see me hair, can't you? Can you see me hair colour?
No, your head's not in the shot.
Oh, it will be in a minute when they get close.
I don't want to watch a picture of you bodybuilding, if I'm completely honest,
No, it doesn't matter about that. I was thinking I'd like to sing the song Get Back, by the Beatles.
Oh, now we're talking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Georgia was a man. I know all the words to it.
Away you go, Nige. Do it.
Pardon?
Do it.
If you can you put the record on?
It won't, Nigel. It won't work because
you can't find it.
Well, no, because it will be slightly out of sync with you. There'll be a time delay.
Oh. I'll do an a cappella version then.
Okay, go on then.
Yeah. Jojo was a man who thought he was a woman, but he was another man. All the girls around him say she's got it coming, but she gets it while she can. Get back, get back, get back to where you once belonged. Get back, get back, get back to where you once belonged. Sweet Loretta Martin thought she was a woman, but she was another man. All the girls around her say she's got it coming, but she gets it while she can. Get back, get back, get back back to where you once belonged. Ooh, do-do-ba-do-ba-do, get back.
Yeah! Drums!
I can't sing like that.
Drums! Betty Boop on the drums.
You can play the drums as well.
It's a great song.
Yeah, but I would have rather sang to a backing.
Oh, well, you know, you should have got one then, Nigel. What am I, your manager?
I'll have to get...
And your manager all of a sudden? What is this? Holy moly.
Enjoy that. Yeah.
Enjoy's a strong word.
Don't shout at me.
All right, Norman Wisdom. You sound like Norman Wisdom.
I'll say, honestly, I'm doing well, aren't I? I paid my bills today.
There we go.
My water bill, I've sorted it out, so I pay £20 a fortnight. I haven't got to pay it all in one go.
Well, then that is great news.
Yeah, because I rang the head office and sorted it all out myself, so I've done quite well.
You've done very well. You should be very proud of yourself, Nigel, seriously.
I am proud of myself, and I've got no worries, but it's just I miss Mum so much. Honestly.
I know you do. I know you do.
You know I do, and I try to cheer myself up. What can I do? I can't bring her back.
You can't bring her back, but you can remember the good times. She's always... Here's the thing, my dad died a few years ago and he's always with me. I talk to him a lot.
Well, I talk to Mum. I do talk to her, yeah.
That's it. They're always there. She's always with you, man, whenever you need her.
I had, from Noah Cyrus, she asked me to come to a concert because I said that I was interested earlier in the week. I've had, in the message saying, can you come to my concert? But she doesn't realise how far away I am, I don't think.
Oh, mate, you're not talking to Noah Cyrus.
No. She's got a gig. She had a gig last night on the 22nd.
Yeah, you're
it's
not.
All written down.
She's not talking to you, mate.
No, but somebody else sent it. The people that deal with her gigs.
Somebody else did, yeah.
Yeah, yes, of course, that's what I mean.
Okay,
but
good.
I couldn't possibly go all that way for 2 hours. Spend all that money, could I?
Well, where was she playing?
Somewhere in Nashville, I think.
No, you couldn't, mate. You couldn't go to Nashville for 2 hours. I thought you were going to say London or something.
She doesn't come to London much.
No. Oh,
because,
well.
She's not so famous as Miley.
No, she is not.
No. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So I enjoyed that little bit of the song I did. Thank you very much, Iain.
Hey, listen, thank you.
Hello, Catherine.
Hello.
You've got such a sexy voice, honestly.
Thank you very much, Nigel. I appreciate it.
No, Catherine.
Oh! I thought you'd be knocking one out to me, but
Stop
it's Big Kath.
I love Catherine's voice. It's lovely.
Okay. I'll get her to record some. I'll get. Is there anything you'd like to hear her say?
Would you like to go out with me, Nigel?
Go on. Come on, Kath. It's just off his mum. Come on.
I can't say that.
Come on. Work it, girlfriend.
I know she's married.
Well.
All right, let's just pretend then.
Go on, it.
Nigel, would you like to go out with me?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
And scene.
Go on. I was enjoying that.
No.
Nigel, would you like me to? Nigel, would you like me to stroke it for you?
Oh, stop it!
Yeah. Yes, please.
Nigel, would you like me to flick it for you?
Right.
With my nails.
Enough. Yeah.
Nigel, would you like Would you like me to guide you?
I've got to go because of my credit.
Okay. All right, Nigel. Have a lovely evening.
But, yeah, I've got to get back to the laptop now. I've got things to...
yes, mate! Good lad!
I keep busy anyway.
I bet you do. Thank you, Nigel. Nigel, would you like me to log into Pornhub for you?
God.
You don't need a login! This is Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
One of my favourite films is True Stories by David Byrne from Talking Heads, stars John Goodman. It's an 80s, a bit of a mess. And I interviewed David Byrne a few years ago and I said, True Stories is ever going to come out on DVD? I don't think so. It's coming out on DVD, Criterion Collection, double disc, with with David Byrne commentary. And here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing with the original soundtrack, because the Talking Heads re-recorded all of the songs and put it out as a Talking Heads album. And it's a good album. It ain't the greatest album. They never released the original soundtrack with the cast singing the songs. Let me find one song. It's such a good film, and no one has seen it. And those people that have seen it hate it, and they're wrong. True Stories. True Stories. Hey now. Hey now. Oh, this is great, man! Here we go. This is great. Listen to this. Watch this scene. Watch this, Katherine. This is great. It's beautiful, this film.
There.
Whack it up. Whack it up.
4-car garage.
This is so good.
Fear. Excitement. Satisfaction.
Now I'm going to give you a clear vista of the edge of the civilized world. You see, it's like a game of leapfrog. These houses, they just keep extending the town out further and further every year. It's kind of weird for the first person that moves into a community like this.
I'll bet it is.
But it's an imaginary landscape, a place to raise your kids. Of course, nowadays, not everyone's having kids. Not with the end of the world coming up and all. I mean, would you?
No, not at all.
No. Well, not until after tomorrow, after the show, huh? Oh, good morning, boys. Howdy. How you doing? Working hard, I see.
Yes, sir.
Little coffee break? It's strange when you look at a field and you say, now I want a bathroom there and a kitchen over here. Imagine that. Here's a field. Take a look out. Picture a house. Picture a lot of houses. What else is a field good for but building houses? Don't you agree?
I want a video. I want to rock and roll. Take me to the shopping mall. Buy me a rubber ball now. Hey now, hey now, hey now, now. Hey now, hey now, hey now, now. I am the king of the world, the boss of the boys and girls. You can live to 110 if you listen to what I'm saying. Hey now, hey now, hey now, now. Hey now, hey now.
And then they go off. Isn't that stunning?
So good.
It's just beautiful. I'm the king. I used to love that line. Me and my girlfriend Tessa at the time, we watched that. I am the king of the world, the boss of all the boys and the girls. What a great line! And it's coming out on DVD. Oh, I got goosebumps then. Oh, very exciting. Come in, Paul Ross. Come on. What's he going to do? No, I'm not falling for your sexy games. Have you seen True Stories, the David Byrne Talking Heads movie?
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
great, man. It's so 80s, and Criterion are bringing it out on double DVD with the original soundtrack album. I'm thrilled. Thrilled. What you got on your show tonight, Paul
Well, I
Ross?
thought I'd show you this first. I know you get strange presents from your listeners.
yeah.
This is, for me, a first.
Okay, let's have
It's
a
a
look.
Primark T-shirt with a homemade print on the front.
Oh.
Who's that having a dig at?
Well, what is really disconcerting, the slogan on it, folks, says, what a difference a professional presenter with a capital P makes with a capital M. But if you look very closely, under the transfer bit, there's either an armpit hair or pubis.
Oh, there's a pube stuck under there.
Under the... something odd.
Is that having a go
Is it like
at-
scratch and sniff?
Is that giving you props and having a go at me, or is that complimenting everybody else on the station? I'm assuming it's nice about you.
I need to look at the postcode. I wonder if it turned up the morning after Kath had dept for you. Oh! What? Did I say that out loud? But what's the hair doing there?
I think that is I think if you were to get...
Is that like a voodoo thing?
Here's the thing, if you were to get that DNA tested, I bet it's one of your hairs.
I bet it's Jeremy Kyle's.
It could be. What you got on the show?
On the show tonight, well, we're talking a bit of spooky stuff. We've got a wonderful woman on who's 21 years old. I shouldn't say only 21, so she's the age of my youngest daughter. She's an absolute, as you young people say, Instagram, YouTube sensation. Her name is possibly not a real name, Harmony Nice, but she's an expert on Wicca. which is the kind of pantheistic, female-oriented religion. So, and she's got a new book out. One of her posts has had 1 million+ views. Gosh. She does it regularly, and she also Instagrams under the name of, again, possibly not a real name, Peachy Cinnamon.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to that chat. As part of our Halloween build-up, we're also talking about the haunted nightclub in Nottingham, where the till pings open mysteriously, staff are terrified, and the fridge opens occasionally.
What's
So
that
we're
like?
talking about that.
I think I might...
It's called Prism. And it's based on where the old House of Correction used to be in Nottingham. You must know that, Kath.
Probably wouldn't remember. I went to most of those places.
All that, and we missed the big thing yesterday, so I apologise to people. I'm sure people are tutting in disapproval. I missed Wombat Day.
Okay, yeah.
So we're talking wombats on the show as well, which I'm very much looking forward to.
Paul Ross will be on at 1 o'clock. Catherine, you said you had some stuff ages ago.
Loads.
Sorry, I didn't get to it. You've got 3 minutes. Do you want to
3
give
minutes
us...
to talk about... I mean, do you want to talk about the man who narrowly missed losing his penis?
Can I just say, Kath, what a difference a professional presenter
I
makes.
know, innit, though?
Stay here, Paul Ross. We're talking about penis loss.
Man nearly loses his penis after it became
I'm
wedged...
hoping this is a funny story.
No, it's not. Inside two steel ball bearings during a bizarre attempt to pleasure himself before it was saved by doctors using a saw. That's basically the story.
Hang on, but the steel ball... I'm up for accoutrements. I'm up for toys. I'm up for experimenting. But ball bearings between...
What was that game where you used to fire the ball bearing?
Crossfire.
Do you think he was playing? Do you think he was playing Crossfire with his? I don't know.
With his thingy.
He got two stuck on his penis after putting them there for sexual pleasure. Nearly lost his member when it started to rot.
A steel ball bearing or his thing. Ball bearings don't rot.
He pierced his willy.
Oh dear.
He'd left the rings on the shaft of his penis for 2 weeks before visiting the hospital with pain and swelling. I bet he did. After normal treatment failed, doctors resorted to using an industrial stone-cutting saw. Oh, look at the picture of that. It's like something like James Bond.
So like cock rings or something.
Looks like it, yeah. Or something that's not designed for such...
You need Goldfinger's laser beam on that, don't you? You need that precision.
Awful. The medics at UCMS and GTB Hospital, New Delhi, India, described the unfortunate man's penis as engorged and tender, and it appeared red raw in photos.
I'd say engorged and tender. Lucky old him.
Yeah. Gosh, I remember those days.
They rescued his willy.
Oh, well, that is great.
And within 2 weeks, he was able to use it fully again.
Put more jewellery.
Play Crossfire.
Crossfire was great, but you got terrible blisters.
Yeah.
You had to
and also nothing, because I'm the oldest of 5 boys, nothing lasted for more than, Boxing Day.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted a turn, and we went... My sister had a doll, the kind of Paul version, a cheap version of Tiny Tears called Cheerful Tearful. You heard of Cheerful Tearful? No. And when Cheerful Tearful's arm was up in an almost fascist salute, she was smiling. But when you pulled the arm down, little strings had made her frown.
Oh.
Broken by Boxing Day. We treat it like a slot machine, up and down, up and down. My mum had to take it back. We got the money back from Bearman's department store, thankfully.
I'm going to look her up. Cheerful.
Well, on those, on that bombshell.
As Ernest Hemingway said, we all had a girlfriend. Her name was Nostalgia.
That's it. That's not bad for a Monday. That's all right. What have you found?
Hideous, terrifying.
What?
Cheerful. Yeah. You see, look at the fascist salute.
It's not bad for a Monday.
She was down with the bread room.
Phone calls.
The
We had a
Bruna
few
Bond.
laughs. We had a few tears.
Tuesday now for me. Day 2 for me.
Exactly. Get on
Day
with
2.
it. We will be back tonight at 10. Don't forget, podcasts are plenty.
You have a T-shirt. Do you want me T-shirt?
I don't want a T-shirt with a listener's pubes stuck on it. Crying out loud.
They pay good money, but
that's why I don't eat the food they send in, because they can't resist. Stay tuned. Paul Ross is coming up. He is a professional presenter with a capital P. This is Talk Radio.